All right, here we go. It is the 17th of May in the year of our Lord 2023. This is the Weekly Alaboom. We started up late today. I had some technical issues. I'm gonna have to finally switch over to the new computer, I think. And just I've been meaning to set that up and do that since December when I got it. And just as I've spoken before, the process or what have you of like setting it up and then having to transfer all of my bookmarks and transfer my work stuff over to it and set up all the passwords. And I realized if you use a Google Chrome account, most of that stuff will just transfer over with you and it'll work just fine. But it's just a pain. And it's something that just the process and like I've said this before, I want to have a chunk of time, oh, hey, I want like 4 hours with nobody gonna bug me, nobody gonna hey, need something or anything like that, so I can just concentrate on getting it done and making it happen. And I don't presume that that's going to happen anytime. I need to set, and a few times where I've said tomorrow is the day I'm gonna do that. And then of course life,
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, what's happening? What's cool? What's amazing?
Not much. Just still working in the yard. I'm finally getting to the back fence. It's finally dry enough.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's the back of my yard's clay, and there's a little decline there where it sits. So it's like a lake till May or June sometimes, depending on the weather. But I finally got to the back of your fence there. I had to cut some trees down.
Spooky good eyes there. Yes, that is a Chick-fil-A cup. I was requested to get ice cream from there on the way home. So
ice cream.
When I was there. Yeah.
I haven't had ice cream yet from the creamery. The UD has a creamery not too far from me. I haven't been there yet this year.
A creamery?
Yes, they milk their own cows and make their own ice cream. They have a pretty big agricultural program over there.
I'll just say this. I always get creeped out when I go to Chick-fil-A for a lot of reasons. But one of the reasons why I get creeped out for sure.
You got to talk to people?
Well, yeah. But no, it is the fact that they train their staff to say, welcome to Chick-fil-A. How may I serve you today? And it's it's creepy.
Yeah,
and I always wonder if there's some creepy person who wants to go there and I gotta wait for that 16-year-old girl to be behind the checkout counter, and just be I'm gonna have this girl say, how can she serve me today? I mean, I realize I'm probably making it a little bit too weird, but that's why I would rather they just, what can I get you?
Because your mind goes to the gutter doesn't mean everybody.
Of course it does, because it's creepy, and I just assume there's gonna be creepy people that are gonna be doing creepy things.
Yeah,
it's the way of the world, man.
That's your way of the world. When I hear it, I think of they're under me or something,
Yeah, that's well, then why can't that be also why they're creepy?
I mean, I understand they're not that meaning, but then they are technically serving you. But
yeah. In just whatever, talk about things. Everybody knows I have the lights are pretty dim right now because the fish are going to go to sleep soon. You can see that fish back there.
Yeah.
In my 120 gallon. I fed them this morning, and and I was doing my thing, and I took my kids to school, and I came back and I had 2 dead fish, and I fed them the normal amount that I always feed them, and I tested the water and I had an ammonia spike. I haven't had an ammonia spike in that aquarium for the last 2-3 years that I've had it, and it's just it was crazy. So I went thankfully, if you own an aquarium there are, in my opinion, there are three things that you should have on hand at any given time. And I had two of the three, and I didn't need one of the two I had, but I need the third, and I went out and got it. But you should always have these three things. You should have what's called CChem Prime, which is and there's other things that do the exact same thing. But CChem Prime will detoxify the ammonia in your tank like the second it hits the water. It just like it'll basically takes the ammonia. It doesn't get rid of the ammonia, but it basically destroys the part of the ammonia that is harmful to your fish. The second thing that you should have is you should have what's called Paragard, which is a medicine that if any of your fish are sick and you can't pull the fish out and get it to a community, like a lot of people say you need a medical tank, you know, to take the fish out that's sick, put it in another tank that's already that's cycled and ready to go, but you can put that medicine in there to like basically one, try to heal that fish and keep it someplace safe where it doesn't have to deal with other fish bothering or anything like that, but two, it can't make other fish sick. And but Paragard will defend against almost like a ton of like it's like kind of like a cure-all penicillin for a ton of different diseases. And also you can add it to a tank that is got other fish in it and all kinds of stuff going on, and it isn't going to harm the fish that aren't sick, and it'll help the sick that's you know. And then the third thing is like these bacterial boosters that like, and I didn't have that today, which is something that I needed because with the ammonia spike, you need to get more beneficial bacteria that breaks down and eats the ammonia and turns it into nitrite. And then there's other bacteria that take that nitrite, which is also toxic to fish, and turns it into nitrate. Well, you can get these like there's certain bottles, and it just basically has bacteria in the water that's in the thing, and you dump that in there to you know, give your aquarium a chance to catch up. So now basically over the next like 7 to 10 days, I need to add chemicals to my tank every single day just to make sure my fish are okay, and take the time to test the water and test the ammonia and stuff like that. But it was weird. It was just like boom, all of a sudden, just like, you know, a bunch of like, I looked up and two of my what they're called giant danios, which are like these cool top. You can probably see them if you can look and see them. Maybe, but the fish that are swimming at the top of the tank back and forth that are kind of look like minnows, they're called giant danios. People use them as
bait.
Well, you could, but people use them as dither fish, and dither fish are like super, like they were fast, and they basically they reduce aggression in the tank. One, like if you have an aggressive fish, they'll chase the dither fish. The dither fish usually are super fast and agile, so they can avoid aggressive fish. But also fish are usually aggressive because they don't feel safe. But if they see a lot of activity in a tank, they'll like, oh, there's all those other fish out there doing crazy stuff and they're not getting attacked, so I feel safe now, and then it'll reduce aggression. But anyway, I had 10 giant danios in my tank, and I lost 2 of them. They're just floating. And I was like, well, that sucks.
Yeah, pretty much.
But you know, whatever. I mean, let's see here. Here he says, if you use mossballs, so if mossballs are just another. I didn't know. I mean, I'll talk aquariums a long. Mossballs.
Sure.
If I'm taking Stick H's question correctly with the mossballs, they are basically a plant. They are a plant that you don't really have to worry about as far as like when you put it in your tank, you don't have to worry about like making sure the roots are able to get into the soil. You don't have to worry about it because they're just the moss just kind of grows, and it'll just kind of, as it propagates, it'll just grow out from the ball. And any kind of plant that you put in your tank will be beneficial, because what the plants will do, so what the cycle of your tank, you go from ammonia, which is from basically the poop and the pee that your fish give off. Plus, if you overfeed them, the food that's in there will break down and turn into ammonia as well. But the ammonia will turn into nitrite and then, as I said, nitrate and then that turns into nitrate. Now, nitrate isn't like, if you got a ton of nitrate in your tank, it isn't great for your fish. But and that's why you do water changes. That's why, like, you'll, like, depending upon your schedule, like every month or two, you take like 30% of the water out and then replace it with brand new water. What they will what plants do is, well, plants, feed off of fertilizer, and nitrate is a form of fertilizer. So if you have plants in your tank, you can reduce the amount of water changes that you have to do. So if you can see, again, the lights aren't on, so you can't really tell, but you can definitely see the green in there. Those are all live plants, and those are all either Java ferns or what the other one is. I forget the name is offhand, but they are and they're huge. I got them when and they're all of them are giant and multiple leaves, and I mean, I should cut them down a little bit, but one, it adds some green, makes it look nice. Two, it definitely cuts down the number of water changes I have to do. I only have to do probably a water change once every 3 months with my tank, and for the most part, the water evaporates away, and I'm just doing refills most of the time, which doesn't actually reduce nitrate at all. I know that before somebody says, oh, the water evaporates and leaves the chemical. Yeah, I know, but I have enough. I don't really have to gravel vac my sand either, because I have a bunch of earth eater cichlids, and so they dig through the sand so much that they kick up any of the detritus, which is a nice fancy word for fish poop. They kick the detritus up, so my mechanical filtration actually picks it up, and so I don't have to vacuum and stuff like that. If you have a see, I can't use mossballs because I have severum cichlids, and severum cichlids are herbivores, and basically anybody who comes over to my house and they see the fact that I have severum cichlids and I have those live plants, they're like, how are you able to have live plants in your tank? You have severums. Because everybody says severums basically turn, you can Google it, just Google severum cichlids, and they just basically say the live plants are impossible. Any live plant you put in your tank, it just basically becomes an expensive salad that you purchased. That's the way they put it. So, but I've heard every once in a while, like, if you just get lucky, like your plants. I mean, I can definitely see when they've nibbled on the leaves, and I can see like leaves are floating, and I scoop them up and I get them out of there. But they leave they haven't killed any of the plants. The plants are good to go. So, yeah, I don't know, just lucky, I guess. I mean, but mossballs are. I think the thing is that all my plants are very broad leafed plants, and whereas with mossballs they kind of the mossballs are like, I think they're too small and they just get ripped apart by the no, I mean, I don't know. Somebody's making fun of the way I speak again because I grew up in Minnesota or North Dakota. That's fine, whatever. People talk in different ways. It's fine.
Yeah. And there's definitely a line. Like when I moved to Delaware, I noticed that there's definitely a line. Yeah.
So Oldie will be here late, but I don't know. I got a few things. if you are friends with me on the Facebooks, I posted a few days ago, I posted a very big Guardians of the Galaxy 3 review full of spoilers. So if you haven't watched the movie, don't watch that. I will just, my non-spoiler thing is that, that was kind of a I rewatched after my family went to go see number 3. I came home and I rewatched 1 and 2, and I remember I mean I have this like affinity for 1 because well, for starters, I mean obviously I said I'm a giant comic book nerd. One of the things I really like about the era of so I've always said there's lots of things I was born too late for. And one of the things I was born too late for was the Silver Age of comics. So the Silver Age of comics, they say, kind of ended in the late 60s, maybe 1970. And so the Silver Age of comics was just wackadoo crazy. I mean, and that was when a lot of the like weird cosmic entities of the Marvel universe got started. Things like Eternity and the Living Tribunal and the Celestials and Ego, the Living Planet, and I mean, just like all of these like crazy, over the top, insane things that and that's also like the best era of Doctor Strange. Fantastic Four was probably the best written comic of all time at that time. There was like all kinds of things but one of the things I've always really liked the cosmic heroes and the cosmic stuff. I remember like tracking down old copy. I mean, when I started reading comics, it was because I found a bunch of my grandpa's old comics, and I didn't know he was really into it. And most of his comics were war comics, like Sergeant Rock, Nick Fury and his Howling Commandos, the Haunted Tank, things like that. But he had a few superhero comics, and I was so. The thing about that is that I don't remember what it was. There was a few Spider-Mans, but I remember there was a couple of Fantastic Four comics they were dealing with like outer space things, and I thought those were really cool. And then when I got older, I started trying to track down old Fantastic Four stuff and with Galactus and things like that. And anyway, the whole point of me telling you that is that I remember when Guardians of the Galaxy came out, like 9 years ago, Guardians of the Galaxy came out.
Yeah, it's been a while.
When I had heard really good things. I mean, I remember when they came out. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy originally, the original series was like completely different from Star-Lord and all those things, and they would. So when they reinvented it, I think it was in the 90s to be Star-Lord and Gamora and Drax and all those things. And they that's what this is based on, right? So I didn't know. So when it came out, people were like, "Oh, and I hadn't read that reinvention of the Guardians of the Galaxy at all. I've since picked up the trades and read it, but so somebody was like, and it was doing, and I was like, that's a really weird movie to make, right? The Guardians of the Galaxy. I was like, that's really weird, that they would take this kind of weird team, whatever. And then it came out in August, and they were like, and people kind of were like, and it got a buzz, and people started going, wow, this is really, really great. And then, I met Chris Claremont. I should probably talk about that, which I will here in just a second. Did I mention Chris Claremont, the writer of X-Men? Did I mention that story?
I don't think so.
All right, I got to tell that story. All right, so I decided I wanted to go to the movie. This was back when I was working for TMG, and I remember I told, I remember I lied and said my daughter had a doctor's appointment. I went to her school and picked her up. She was in first grade, and she and I went to a movie in the middle of the afternoon. This is like, and we went to go see this. And I mean, this isn't a big spoiler at all, but I remember just sitting there in that movie theater, and it was like pretty much empty. It was like, an afternoon matinee on a weekday. Um, uh, they had this thing where um, I went there, and we, like I said, only people in there. But at the opening of the first Guardians of the Galaxy, there's this like weird moment where like you kind of don't really know what's going on. There's not really explanation, and then you see Peter Quill shows up, the Star-Lord, and he shows up and he's in some weird abandoned city, and he's there to try to find the orb, which we later find out had one of the um, one of the gemstone things, the things that Chaos is looking for. You find that out later, of course. And but he goes there, and it's very comical, very very off-putting beginning, and he starts lip syncing along to this song, "Come and Get Your Love," and there's all these like space rats running around, and there's this moment where he grabbed one of the space rats who was trying to was squealing at him, and he starts using like a microphone and pretending like he's singing, and lip syncing along. And I remember my 6-year-old daughter just laughed her butt off and just thought that was the funniest thing ever, because I didn't know what to expect from the movie. And then and it was just like we sat there and I thought, wow, Guardians of the Galaxy was just a fantastic movie. It's just really well done. And so 2 came out 3 years later, and I thought that one was great as well. There was all kinds of things they added to it, and I mean, I know there's people that haven't seen number 2, so I'm not going to tell you spoilers and anything like that, but I thought the inclusion of Kurt Russell in that one really kind of added a lot, and there was a lot of really feel good moments or whatever. And then so with number 3, I really wanted to go see it. I didn't want anybody to spoil it for me. The trailers heavily hinted at one or more of the Guardians of the Galaxy dying. So I was like, you had this gut feeling of like, oh, I don't want to watch it. I don't want to like see these people. And I also didn't want things to spoil it for me, right? And so I was like, so we went to go see it, and oh man, I mean, I don't. Both of the 1 and 2 Guardians of the Galaxy are like, I mean, as far as Marvel movies go, I mean they're like in my top 5. I mean, they're just so good. And then with this one, man, I was like, is it possible that like 3 of my top 5 Marvel movies are all Guardians of the Galaxy? I'm like, yeah, probably. I mean, it's so much that I want to go see it again. I want to go to the movie theater and watch it again. And it is so, I don't know. It is just I can't remember a movie I cried that much during. I mean, for like a bunch of like, I mean, it's just, I don't want to, I mean, I'm not going to do any spoilers or anything like that, but I mean, it was, and if you've seen it and you want to see my like completely spoiler filled review, find me on the Facebook. I posted something 2 or 3 days ago. You can read it, comment, say what you want, give me your thoughts as well. But I just, also like the soundtrack for this one. I mean, I thought the soundtrack for the first one was great, and I thought the soundtrack for the second one was great. And man, the soundtrack for this one, it's somehow even better than like the first 2. And it's just kind of like, yeah, I mean, it's a complete and total banger of a movie. And I give it whatever, quadruple thumbs up, or super good, super fantastic, highly recommended. Go see it. It if it's James Gunn's last movie in the Marvel universe, he went up there and he swung for the stars, and he got it. And he crushed it. He knocked it out of the park, and he knocked it out of the park that was outside the park as well. So hopefully he can somehow not have any. Are you reading a Nutrageous?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good choice. That's an excellent choice. If he can somehow go over to the DC and do what he did with this, then maybe DC movies will be good again. I mean, or good to begin with. I mean,
We'll
I don't
see.
know. I mean, he
They're even
yeah.
good to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, I wish I could openly discuss it. I wish the movie had been out for 5 years and now it's on Disney and everybody's watched it 700 times, whatever. I wish there was
We're
a
not being
situation
Disney.
so I could have, I could definitely talk about it all day long. But yeah, I mean, super recommended. Go see it.
Oh shit.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, and I've seen some people who have like said, "Oh, I didn't like it because of X, Y, or Z," and I'm just like, "Wow, I could not disagree with you more." Just like, wow, I mean, people are entitled to feeling what they feel, just and they can do it. But I mean, I just, yeah, I mean, just.
Yeah, me and Jen will watch it eventually.
No, I mean, if you, I mean, go see it in the movie theater too.
I actually
Because
didn't even know it was out in the theaters yet.
So I mean, the thing about it though is because it is like a space movie, and because it is because it's got all that stuff going on as far as like everything and what have you, um, it deserves to be. I mean, and I know we've had this discussion before. I mean, I have a 65-inch TV over there, right? So I mean, it isn't like I got a small TV. And that's like technically a small TV when it comes to like big TVs, right? With the big 90 inches and whatever. But I mean, that's a pretty huge TV, right? And so watch a movie on there is, I still get that, that feeling of, just I can still get a little bit of a spectacle, right? But it's no comparison to seeing it in a movie theater. I mean, and this is a movie that is about space, and it is about spaceships, and it is about, it's a movie that like the spectacle of what you're seeing transfers very well. Like it would be like seeing Dune in the movie theater, which I did, and that was amazing because I mean the director like presents that world and things crazy. And like, oh man, the trailer for Dune 2 looks amazing. So I'm like looking forward to that. And I mean, I'll have to see that just because I have to, right? So I mean, it's just really looking forward to that.
So the theater's not dead now, is that what you're saying? What are you saying, Lance? I'm confused.
Well, I'd say just go see the movie. I mean, go. And there's some movies that you should go see in the movie theater. Now,
Yeah,
if you're gonna go see a movie, I mean, go see a movie theater because of whatever. But I mean, but one of the things about seeing a movie in a movie theater is that, I mean, yeah, it's expensive and blah 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 blah. But I mean, it is like going to see. It isn't like it was before. Like, I mean, I remember, and I'm not breaking any ground here, and I apologize for like treading on like kind of boring blah 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 blahs. But I mean, I remember the weekend would come, and my stepdad would be reading the newspaper, and he said he would say he'd be looking at the newspaper and he'd see the movie times because of course they didn't have an internet and he'd say, oh hey, so and so is playing tomorrow, you want to go to a movie? And I was like, and then because it was going to a matinee on a Sunday would and with popcorn would run you like $9, and it was just like, yeah, we'll just go to a movie, you know, just because you can go to a movie. Now it's like, oh, you can't just like decide, yeah, I'm gonna go see that movie. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's like because you going to that is like, oh, you know, between the tickets and the food and everything else, it's like it's $100 event minimum, you know, to go to a movie now. So I'm pretty picky when it comes to the movies that I want to go see in the theater. I mean, I did see something though. Hey Aldi, I did see this thing where he said, and I'm sure because Aldi watches the same YouTube channel I do. But like there's 34 of the like movies, like most anticipated movies in 2023, and 28 of them are either spin-offs, remakes, or sequels.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Originality is not rewarded anymore.
No, it's not.
And
Like-
of the ones that are not, that don't fall under those three categories, the six that are left, like 3 or 4 of them were basically biopics. You know, like there's a movie that's
Biopic?
coming out. Biopic. There's a movie that's coming out about like Teddy Roosevelt. There's a movie that's coming out about Oppenheimer. You know, things like that, where it isn't like it is. I mean, yes, it is a brand new movie, whatever, but it is based on
It's based on a
real
person.
So
Yeah.
it isn't like a creation of a new idea or what have you.
Yeah.
So
I always think back of like the era of the movies like The English Patient. Like we'll never get that again. I don't think.
I think we will.
the anticipation of the movie or what?
The English Patient, the movie.
Well, the English Patient.
Like the creation of it. Yeah, like where are those movies? There's no that movie's not coming. Those movies are not getting made again.
I think they will. It's an ebb and flow. How,
Maybe
you know?
it's a pendulum, of course, but we're in a way opposite pendulum than the 90s.
Yeah, and they were in, you know, westerns were the big things in the 50s. You know, it's a huge swing. Yeah, rom-coms are starting to come
We
back.
got endless amounts of superhero shit.
Yeah, but
That's
like
what makes money.
I'm optimistic. Like I said, rom-coms are starting to come back. So different genres are starting to break through again.
I'm sure that's the genre I want to come back.
It's not necessarily the one I want either, but it's an improvement. You know.
There Will Be Blood. Where's that movie?
Yeah.
No Country for Old Men.
The fact that we got both of those movies in 1 year.
1 year. I know.
Yeah. But Western's been hit or miss for the last 10 years. They've been
So
trying.
here we go. I just found Yardbarker, which whatever. I don't know what this website is. These are the 25 most anticipated movies.
All right.
And then this is March, and it starts with March 3rd. And I didn't even know this movie was even
This
out.
is from this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Operation Fortune.
Never heard of it.
Guy Ritchie movie. Jason
Could be
Statham
good.
was the secret agent. Well, yeah, but it came out March 3rd. So, and I've
So
never
it's already
heard-
out.
Yeah. 65 came out on March 17th. And then Adam Driver. Driver takes on a bunch of aliens who come to Earth 65 million years ago.
Came and went.
Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing
It's already
a trailer
like
for
on
that, I
streaming
think.
or something.
Dungeons and Dragons is already on streaming.
March 24th is John Wick 4, which
Sure. That's a sequel.
Yeah, I mean, that's a sequel. Here is April 21st, Beau is Afraid. Man who gave us Hereditary and Midsummer returns with another spooky vision. This one of
Oh, yeah,
Joaquin Phoenix.
That's Joaquin Phoenix. That one actually looks interesting.
That was April 21st. So
Yeah, it looked interesting.
Peter Pan and Wendy, April 28th. That came and went.
Came out.
Now, Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 3. So, did you, what they say? Well, Fast and the Furious, or Fast X, right? So,
Fast
and
X.
so at Red Letter Media, and I got to get them credit for the joke. They said, you know, in 1991, when I was watching the Fast and the Furious, the guy said, at that time, I said, you know what? I'm gonna need 14 movies and nearly a quarter century so I can get to the bottom of this Vin Diesel character. It's like-
We just milk that cow.
but
for
you know
everything
what?
it's
Good
worth.
for them. Good
That
for
movie,
them
that,
for
that
creating
movie's been
something.
around since 91.
The first one,
99. 99 was the
99.
first movie.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not that old.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no.
you're
Pretty,
almost
pretty
got
old though.
yeah.
I mean, so I mean, because I remember that. Whatever.
At this,
So
what are they trying to do at this point? I mean, set a record?
It just keeps. Here's the deal: they'll stop making it when people stop going.
Does
yeah,
it still make
exactly.
that much money?
It has to, otherwise it
Speaking
wouldn't
of
make
last
it.
rides,
This is about numbers. I mean, it
no,
doesn't-
here,
there's no-
this. Listen up. Speaking of last rides, it's time to fasten your seatbelts for the last installment in the Fast and Furious franchise. After two
Yeah, sure.
decades of races, fights, and family, the gang is back to take on Jason Momoa,
Jason
and
Momoa.
Charlize Theron.
They're gonna harpoon
drive
the
their
car,
cars
fly it in the air.
in ways no
Is he
human
going to
being
it's
ever
going to
could.
space? Did it go
I
into
don't know.
space?
I'm
It
sure they're
doesn't-
going to eventually. He just announced he's trying to make 3 more.
So Elemental is the new Pixar movie where like all the characters are
Yeah, it's
elements of fire,
it's
water, land,
one's
and air.
fire. Yeah.
So I saw the trailer for that when I went to Guardians of the Galaxy. It reminded me of two things. It reminded me of Inside Out, which was the movie with the different like emotions in the person's head or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it also reminded me a great deal of that Castle Transylvania thing with the basically because it's all about this water elemental that wants to go out with this fire elemental and they want to have a relationship, but nobody wants that to happen.
One goes to
And-
the fire world and the other one, yeah.
and the Castle Transylvania thing, whatever, has Dracula and like his daughter wants to go out with a human, right? And like, and she doesn't want, and like, I mean, I was
It's a
just like,
time old story.
Romeo and
Yeah.
Juliet.
and but
Yeah.
but they're going to be able to
Romeo and
make
Juliet.
things, they're going to be able to make things look cool, right? As far as that goes. So, well, a guaranteed watch for me, Asteroid City, the newest Wes Anderson movie, which the
It looks like a
trailers make-
return to normal.
Oh, with Tom Hanks and Tilda Swinton,
Yeah,
I mean,
it'll be
it
fun.
looks really,
It's more
really good.
What's the movie? I've already drawn a blank. All I can think of is that last movie, which I hated.
Oh,
Not French.
Dispatch?
It's more the hotel. What's the
Yeah,
Grand Budapest.
Grand
That's-
Budapest.
It's more
Yeah.
Grand Budapest than it is French Dispatch, which is good, in my opinion.
Oh, Grand Budapest is a great one.
I know it's one of my favorite.
It
his.
is.
It's not my favorite, but I think it is one of my favorites.
It's number 4 for me because it goes.
I think we already ranked these before.
Well, no, but I'm gonna have to do it again now. So, I mean, my top 5 Wes Anderson movies in order are
5 to 1.
Tannenbaums.
That's
I
number
go-
one.
number 1, Tannenbaums. I mean, Gene Hackman is just so perfect. I mean, he's so good in that role. So I forget what is it? Is it Angelica Houston plays his ex-wife or wife, estranged wife? I'm almost positive that's who it was.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think I remember a little bit, but apparently, like, she took the job, and when she got there, she noticed that like she didn't have like enough.
Angelica Houston.
Like she felt like she didn't have enough to say or enough to do, and she demanded that they rewrite a lot of stuff. So like basically, she had more lines.
Made her
and more
character.
things to do.
Oh.
Yeah, her character. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Tannenbaums. Number 2. God, I mean, it depends on my mood on the day, but 2 and 3 is either Steve Zissou or Rushmore. Depends on my mood during that day, which one I like more. You know, just like. But then 4 is Budapest. I mean, just because Budapest is. I mean, it was as you say, it was a return to form. And 5 for me is, and it's a controversial pick, but Isle of Dogs. I mean, there's still lines
that's
from
fine.
Isle of Dogs that make me giggle, you know, just all the time. Like the fact that the one dog has kennel cough And then as the movie progresses, like the dogs he hangs out with, they start getting kennel cough as well. They're like, yeah, we do. It's like, it's just, and they never actually like say it out loud. It's just, you just see it happening all the time. It just makes me good. Anyway.
I think
Okay.
my number one is either Grand Budapest or Life Aquatic. Those are interchangeable, I think, is a number one.
Yeah.
Number two or three is gosh, these are hard. I'm not sure. I'm not so sure I'm divided. Maybe Royal Tenenbaums number three. Number four is like Rushmore. Number five might be like Moonrise Kingdom, maybe.
See, Moonrise Kingdom fell flat for me. I don't know what it was. It just.
I thought it was very much in that vein of his movies, though. I mean, it's more like Grand Budapest than anything.
Yeah, I mean, I would give. See, I would put Fantastic Mr. Fox at 6.
I haven't seen Fantastic Mr. Fox, so
you should watch Fantastic Mr. Fox. Yeah,
and I think Life of Dogs is good, but I don't think it's top 5. Maybe it's better. Maybe it's better than Moonrise Kingdom. So I'll put number 5 as like Life of Dogs or.
But Darjeeling and French Dispatch both are like.
Yeah. French Dispatch does not register for me at all, like almost zero. Only the first vignette is good. Well, the intro vignette, which is like the non-vignette vignette.
I mean,
right, with the beginning where he's riding the bicycle.
Yeah.
And the first story is great, and then it drops off like a lot.
That whole moment with Grand.
I was excited with the first vignette.
Yeah, and then it just
and then it just dropped like a rock. It was just like, what? Something changed? Different.
Just Grand Budapest. It's like.
But Grand Budapest is a banger. You know what? That's
it's a total banger.
That's my number one. Number 2 is Life Aquatic. Number 3 is what did I say?
Tenenbaums.
Royal Tenenbaums. Number 4 is
Rushmore.
And then 5 is Life of Dogs.
How about the moment? I mean, we'll just sit here and talk about Rushmore when you like when he goes and he just starts like burning all of his crap in the lawn at Rushmore, and the dean opens up his window and goes, Max.
There's a lot of good stuff in that one. I don't think I knew a Wes Anderson movie until then. Like I didn't really. Wasn't that before Rushmore or before?
Yeah. Rushmore was his second movie. The first one was
like before Tenenbaums. And I like Bottle Rocket fine, but I don't love it.
But you can tell Bottle Rocket.
The only thing I like about Bottle Rocket is James Caan.
James Caan is
like and Applejack.
Yeah.
For the non-roll role.
Yep.
Totally lost it. You never had it.
And then how about in Royal Tenenbaums when he whatever his name was saying, he goes, well, you better fire him too, because he was in on it the whole time. And he's outside, he takes out that little penknife and stabs him. He's like, that's the last time you stabbed me.
Kabuki Kid says her favorite Wes Anderson movie was Napoleon Dynamite. Okay.
No,
I mean, I like Napoleon Dynamite, but for different reasons.
I never really liked it. Anyway, here we go. Number 10 of 25 was Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1.
That looks like every
other Mission Impossible
ever. It doesn't matter. Like they amp it up again, but like, okay, it doesn't make sense. Doesn't matter.
How's he going to try and kill himself this time? Though?
Well, no,
That's
it all says now we should all die or something like that. It's just dumb.
July 14th is Barbie.
And what deal of the devil has Tom Cruise made? He basically looks as young as ever.
Now, a lot of.
I'm interested in Barbie.
So I've read about that is that they do a lot of like digital touch up.
They'd have to.
Oh, on Tom Cruise.
On Tom Cruise, yeah, and then a lot of digital touch ups, and they like he has it in his contracts that like certain things that like I mean, for the longest time, like he would like you would always have him filmed from like the waist up, and he would be on risers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
sure, but that's his face looks younger than ever.
And he has a lisp and all that.
Yeah. All right, July 21st, Oppenheimer.
I'm interested in seeing that.
So
I am too. Well,
because it's
it's Nolan.
What's his name?
Yeah. Christopher Nolan.
Christopher
pretty
Nolan.
yeah.
And and Cillian Murphy is a really good actor too. So,
Yeah.
Let's see here. Then we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem on
Don't care.
August 4th.
Another one.
Yeah, just a reboot.
Yeah.
Now, I am a big fan of Taika Waititi. He directs. He did
Taco Waititi.
Taika Waititi. Yeah, he did.
Oh, I thought you said taco.
No, Taika Waititi.
Took me
I
a
might be
second there, Deuce
mispronouncing
Scott.
that. But no, he did Thor Ragnarok.
I know who he
which
is.
is a really good movie. Yeah, yeah.
Jojo Rabbit.
But
Just-
Jojo Rabbit's
so
better.
good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Under appreciated, I think, for sure.
Absolutely. But Next Goal Wins does his best Ted Lasso
Soccer movie?
impression in this soccer drama about a coach who rallies his team in the World Cup, which sounds like a rehash of many other films, but it's also the
every
guy who gave us
movie ever.
yeah. So, Dune Part 2, November 3rd.
Is it going to be on streaming?
I'm with you, Scott.
I'm not going to see that in the theater.
I would have been pissed
Why
if I
not?
did the first one. And-
It has to be. I have no reason to go to the theater unless they give me a big plastic D20.
I don't know.
popcorn.
I don't know. I went to how about a big plastic sandworm?
yeah.
Maybe, but I don't.
Yeah.
Michelle doesn't like it enough, so I'd not be going with her for sure.
Oh, I mean,
And if I'm not going with her, I'm not
well,
going.
hey, yeah, I'm here. Look at this. Just gonna throw it out there. So, I mean, I'm gonna go to it when it first comes out. Just done, right?
Dune?
Dune 2. I'll go with my dad. I'll go with my daughter. I mean, and I'll probably go with my younger brother as well. However, it releases in November, and I'll be in your neck of the woods come November. Maybe me and you head off one night and go to a movie.
No, instead of BGG Con,
Well, yeah, just I mean, for one night, just like instead
one
of,
night
like,
only.
one night, just I mean, maybe it can be like the first night we're there or something. I don't know. Just like we can just squirrel away, see if other people want to go, make it an event. I'll go to Dune with you if your wife is some uncultured heathen who can't enjoy the movie. I'll go to it.
I have
I
a feeling
definitely go
Michelle's a
see
little
that
more
again.
cultured than you are, Lance.
I have rewatched the first part of that movie probably 15 times. It is
A new one?
Oh yeah,
Really?
it just blows me away. I see something new in it every single time I watch it. I don't
Can't even think about it. I don't even remember what happened.
Dreams
They
are
go to a
messages
planet
from
and
the
they
deep.
stop there. And you gotta wait
no.
3 years for the next one. That's what happened, Scott.
I checked my watch after 2 hours and I'm like, there's no way they're finishing. I mean, they did not say it was going to be only half the movie, by the way.
Well, it's because
Yeah.
they weren't 100% sure
Publicized.
he was going to get another movie. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, but you did hear because they didn't show the Emperor at all in the first movie. They just talked
Right.
about the Emperor. You know who plays the Emperor? Christopher Walken.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
That's gonna be amazing.
It's,
And I haven't seen him in anything in quite a
I
while.
mean, the Emperor doesn't really have much of a role in them.
New David Fincher movie on November 10th, The Killer, which is based
Sure.
on a very, very good graphic novel. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure that'll, well, who knows if they do it credit or whatever. But I have absolutely read this graphic novel, and it's called The Killer, and it is
Is a killer.
well, yeah, no, and it has a lot to do. I'd have to find
John
it.
Woo?
No.
Oh, not that one.
I'd have to find it, and but no, it was he. It's just it is he's a hired killer, and like he has like kind of an identity crisis. I mean, it sounds silly,
Like Barry?
yeah, no. but it's.
I mean, not Barry, our Barry.
I know what you're
the
talking
show
about. The
Barry.
show.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
I still
who
haven't
knows?
seen
Maybe
that.
there's.
It's a great show.
I've
It's
seen
really
the first
good.
two, and then I just never got back to it. That's what happens with weekly shows with me. I forget they're on. Yeah.
All right, back to the list on hand. But yeah, no, it's a really good graphic novel. And I'm glad I own the graphic novel already, because now if you probably pick up the graphic novel, it'll probably say upcoming movie from so and so. And I hate when your graphic when it has that sticker. And it isn't a sticker either. It's like right on the cover.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know it's stupid, but to me it feels like, oh, you only got this because it's a movie. No, I got this because I wanted to read it. Dummy. So here we go. Wish, November 22nd. Disney's latest finds its lead character wishing upon a literal star, bringing her magical powers.
A literal star.
Yeah, so let's see here.
Watch this one bomb like the rest of the Disney movies lately.
Four Things.
When is the
Emma
Little Mermaid
Stone
come out?
reteaming with the favorite with
Soon, I think.
How
that
to
on the
Blow
list?
Up a Pipeline. These are like to be announced. So this must be an old list. Yeah.
Well, you want to see the Little Mermaid, Scott?
Kind of want to see it.
I have no interest. No, only the Little Mermaid. Like I seen a couple of them live remakes.
Yeah,
live
the
action.
Aladdin was terrible. I
Yeah,
hated it.
Oh, and the new Indiana Jones movie, which the trailers are making it look pretty good.
we'll
I'm-
see.
You know it's not gonna be good.
Yeah, we'll
I'm
see.
definitely gonna go see
There's
it.
no chance it's good. No
there's
chance.
there's a new Exorcist movie coming out too.
Yeah.
So
So sequel.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
Nothing new.
yeah, that's true. I mean, it's like there's nothing new. I mean, there is stuff that's coming out new, but it's like small. I mean, I think it's gotten money, or like you can't just throw away your money at things, right? Anymore. You just have to. You have to go with what you can believe in or whatever, and that's remakes and.
Yeah, no, we're in a weird world of entertainment.
yeah.
Yeah.
Are they still on strike?
AI is going to make it worse.
AI is making everything.
We basically we're on the cusp of having unlimited amounts of garbage.
Yeah.
If you like horror movies with vampires, you're going to have a nonstop. And I mean, just imagine if you can AI generate the script, the graphics, the sound, it's unlimited content. Now it's not going to be good. It might be, and once in a blue moon be good because of randomness. But can you imagine just on demand anything you want? I mean, do you guys see it going this way? I do.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
You don't think so? You don't think there's going to be channels out there that will just be nonstop creating AI bullshit?
I don't think it's that advanced yet. Eventually, I think it will be, but it's like the streaming platforms are having trouble right now. It's
sort of come onto the scene in 6 months, and it's already beyond what anybody's dreams are. I mean, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean,
it's going to be unlimited content. It's going to be unlimited content.
We basically have that now, though. I mean,
not really.
What?
I mean, we have.
What
like, there's not.
Find?
If I want to go watch a vampire movie every day for the rest of my life, that's not going to happen.
I'm sure you
could happen with AI.
I don't know. People are funny with stuff.
Just advance it by like 10 or 15 years. I'm not. This is 6 months. It's only been 6 months.
Yeah, we'll see.
And we already got bullshit AI stuff going on.
Yeah, but we already got 20 Terminators and 20 Marvel movies, and people get bored with stuff easily. At some point, it's not going to be profitable.
You're never going to be bored now.
All right, here we go. Here's a everybody gets to give their answer to each question. This is like says here. Yeah, I saw something that said you can tell a lot about you can tell a lot about a person by their answers to these questions.
Okay.
How do you like your eggs? I'm over hard.
Over medium.
Easy.
I don't eat them much. If I do, it's like an omelet.
There you go. You got 4 different answers.
You got to answer. Okay. How do you like your steak prepared? Medium rare?
Burn that fucker.
Depends on the steak, but probably medium rare, maybe medium.
Rare plus.
What's rare plus?
just a little bit before rare or after rare, but not quite medium rare.
Okay, I mean not like blue or something is what you're
No,
saying. All right. Favorite milk. I've always been a skim milk guy.
1%.
Yeah,
Oh.
2%.
You can say chocolate or strawberry or almond.
Yeah.
Whatever.
2%.
Berry.
Oh.
Whole.
Oh,
Oh.
what do you just
Oh,
drink?
it's
Why don't you just
four different
drink a
answers for
gallon of
everything.
cream?
I don't drink a lot of milk, but when I do,
All right, but when I do,
When I
no.
drink milk, it's whole.
or
when
ice cream.
when I do, it's a step away from being a congealed mess in my mouth.
Milk, that's how it naturally was. Well, not exactly, but it's closer than what that 1% shit is. You know, it's
Yeah,
a
1%
water.
skim is like water.
Yeah.
It's like blue water.
Your alcohol. I'm an old fashioned. If I have my druthers, make me an old fashioned.
If I had to pick one,
Yeah, just like alcohol. What's it like? If like that's
Usually
Red
word
wine.
alcohol.
Yeah.
What?
red wine.
There you go.
Gin and tonic, I guess, if I'm drinking.
Yeah, I'm usually whiskey.
Whiskey straight or on the rocks?
Usually straight.
All right. And favorite warm drink? I'm gonna say none because I can't
Favorite
stand
what drink?
a warm drink.
Warm?
I'm gonna say none because I cannot stand drinking warm liquor. It feels
I guess coffee.
tea.
Yeah,
Tea?
mine's are all gray, lemon sugar. Yeah.
All right, there you go. Those are the questions. That just tells you a lot. And I'm the weirdo when it comes to the warm
And so
drinks.
what does that mean?
I don't know. It's a conversation starter thing. For me, it's always one of those things where I've always thought the idea of hot chocolate sounds amazing. But like every single time I ever got a hot chocolate as a kid, I would have like 3 sips and I'd be like, this sucks. I just throw it.
You need chocolate show.
I don't know.
Chocolate?
No, I don't.
From France. Yes,
you do.
Just have a
There's
glass of
How is
water.
that different than hot chocolate?
There's different
Oh,
types
it's
of
different.
chocolate. Yeah.
It's quite different.
I had something in Mexico that the mines used to make where it was like water and chocolate. They just pour it back and forth and froth it up. It's kind of interesting.
If you don't watch Mage's Musings, Mage's Musings is in here. We of course don't know his real name, but if you don't subscribe to his channel, I strongly suggest you do because he does like Muppet D&D videos.
Muppet?
And they're absolutely fantastic. Whether it is his wizard Merlinster Gandaldor, I'm probably like Merlinster Gandaldor, the archmage, or Ace Eric, the lich, the demi lich, which is just a skull that floats around. It's one of the probably one of the best channels that nobody knows exists. Well, not enough people knows exists. So someday we'll learn his true face or something. Who knows? Or maybe not. But check it out. Good stuff. Anyway, what was the other thing? Oh, Ted Lasso. It's got 2 episodes left. 2 to go,
does
baby.
it? Okay. After there was this one, I was talking. Jen
Not
thought
even
this was the
seen-
last
I've
one.
seen 2 episodes of the season.
No, that's too bad. Well, I envy you that you got all that to blitz through. I wish I could say that.
Actually, 3. I think I've seen the first 3.
I've got 4
It was
the
episodes
first
I haven't
eight-
watched yet.
The match against Nate just happened in my world. I don't know what that
Yeah.
Nate's team or whatever that.
Spoilers.
What'd you say about the first 8?
First, I didn't say
I have
anything. I said it's
4
just a
left
match.
to watch,
Okay.
plus the 2 that haven't aired yet.
Yeah, me and Jen watched the recent one today, and she thought it was the last one, and I was like, I don't know, because it kind of didn't end like one, a season from now or series from now. But there is 2 more.
2 more.
Okay.
And Quickie Kid, if you're not watching Ted Lasso, I don't know. Quickie, just go watch it. I mean, and if you don't have Apple TV, let me know. I'll let you borrow my
Oh, ain't that nice?
Just-
I
it
started
is.
watching Succession.
I watched the first 2 seasons of that.
I'm at the end of 2nd season.
Yeah.
Didn't
The
get back.
Holly Hunter is just been named the. Well, I shouldn't say anything.
Yeah. Scott, what's wrong with you?
No, I mean, the thing about that is that so I also posted, if you're a person who watches Ted Lasso, I posted today on my Facebook page my predictions for how it will end. And so if you looking through that, but lots of spoilers obviously, so don't go tearing through there.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I would just say, Kabuki, this would be something I'm sure that when it ends, there's going to be a lot of like people that are going to talk about the ending and they're going to discuss it and you're going to have it spoiled. And there's been enough crazy stuff that's been happening with Ted Lasso that you don't want it spoiled. Like, I mean, I will likely just stay up Tuesday night and watch the last episode because I don't want to tune in and have some jackanape show up and be like, "Can you believe blah 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 blah?" And then I'd be all like, "Damn it!" So,
Hey, do you know what game we should probably play on stream next time?
what?
Is actually.
Actually,
Does that mean somebody has to drink every time anybody says
No,
actually?
it's a game. It's Dropout Network on YouTube. It's a game show, and there's a lot of old like Geek and Sundry people that basically it's the questions are statements that are in some way factually incorrect, and the way you answer the way you buzz in and you have to start every answer with actually he's a Sith and not a Jedi or whatever it is.
Oh, that's cool.
It is cool. It's all nerd stuff, right? There was one where it was Matthew Mercer and Brendan Lee Mulligan it was like two other people anyways. And they had like a comic strip of that talked about that basically recounted a D&D encounter. And they had to look at it and find as many errors as they could. And Mercer's like, yeah, I found 20. And they're like, well, we only had 18 listed, but go ahead. And he found like 2 of them that didn't actually exist. That existed, but they didn't actually find originally. It was pretty good.
That does sound cool.
I'm probably gonna pick up a copy of it so we can try it.
What was I gonna say?
Actually, yeah, sorry.
I don't think you are, Matthew. How dare you derail his show?
No,
Sorry.
shoot. No, you're fine. I was
saying it like all Canadian, like sorry.
Oh, I saw a clip that God, I forget what it was, but it made me laugh with the Canadian joke that they no, actually it was a clip from Ted Lasso, and I can't actually repeat it, but they made a very good joke at Canadians' expense because did you see the most recent Ted Lasso?
Wouldn't be the first time they've done that. No,
I mean, they basically said something where like there was a soccer match going on with a Canadian team, and the soccer announcer says something along the lines of, it's like, "Oh, that looks pretty bad out there. It looks like he took that right off the head." You know, it's like, "Oh, geez, oh gosh, he looks pretty bad. Hey, we apologize for the language we're using here." It was pretty well done. So
that's funny. I think you missed a couple of A's in there though somewhere.
Hey.
Yeah, but so we can play our game here in just a little bit, but I saw a thing where there's Facebook groups obviously where people get on there and they talk and they say and they discuss and they, whatever, and somebody posted in a board game reviewer centric channel that said something along the lines of, it's just like, I've heard that like some reviewers are like, vague booking like things that other reviewer, like saying this reviewer is like, does this wrong, you know, basically like trying to say, here, I'll read. But says, I watched a review recently where the creator several times mentioned how other reviewers were hype men, not their exact words. They went further to say that the scores make the game overrated, and clearly we glossed over several details, so they must have been talking about this person. How do you feel about that? I mean, it's your platform and your opinion. Gotcha. Still, I'm thinking that's an unearned dig at folks who may or may not watch your content. We don't have to agree, but I'm not a hype man because I'm more excited about the title than you are. I don't know. Maybe I'm in my feelings. Is that the kind of type of stuff that excites your audience? What say you? There's lots of people that respond. And I was very interested in some of the responses from some of the people because I know a lot of people.
Sort of didn't understand it. What was the thing saying?
So basically, somebody did a video.
Yeah.
That basically said, "Oh, I think that this
other person is not."
But this channel over here, they talked really highly of it, and then they kind of came around to the fact, but they're just a hype channel. They don't really actually play the game. They don't. I mean, they just you know, because of whatever reason, you can't really trust their opinion about the game because they're not there to give a review. They're just there to hype up the game, and that's all they do, right? And so they took umbrage to that because it was like, oh, well, why are you gonna like talk about me and like say something like that about me or whatever? And so
so it's a one channel calling out a second channel's statement.
Yeah. So why are you like, you know,
Oh,
in the words of Will Smith, keep my name out of your mouth. You know, just like, you know, just
That's
say
not his
what you
exact
gotta say.
That's not what he
But
said.
yeah, but you know where I'm getting at, right? You know, and you know, it's just like
Poor Will. Nervous breakdown.
Yeah.
We're talking about board games, right?
Yes.
Yeah, board games. Yeah. And so it was one of those things where there was a lot of people that I know because I've either talked to them at conventions or I've dealt with them as a publisher or I've dealt with them as a fellow reviewer. And I know that those people are the ones that I've heard them, not publicly on a video, but talk shit about other video reviewers and say like, that guy's a fucking hack, or that guy's bought and sold, or that guy's a piece of crap, you know, or whatever.
But are
And
they?
so it's one of those things where I read some of these responses and I'm like, oh, really? You're like, they're saying, you know, and I'm not going to point anybody. I'm not going to say anything about anybody specific, but I mean, just because it isn't my job, because also, you know, just whatever. But it's like one of those things where it's like, I think this is deplorable that somebody would say something. I was like, you piece of shit. It's like, you will, maybe your opinion is, I think it's horrible that you would publicly speak it. But, you know, talking behind other people's backs and saying what a piece of crap they are and trying to undercut them and get review copies before they do, you know, for whatever, like, you know, crummy reasons you have, that's okay though. But, you know, like, yeah, I just hate people. I mean, and the thing is that I kind of stepped in and I gave my opinion, which I'll read my opinion out loud because maybe you care, maybe you don't. I said, as a former reviewer and now publisher, I feel very conflicted offering up any sort of answer here, but I'm going to try. And it is going to be from my gut. It is my opinion, and most certainly not the rule of law. It comes down to this. Everyone is going to have an opinion about the opinion that is given. And if you think the person is spewing bullshit, then that opinion is just as valid as the actual opinion itself. Reviewers should not be above being reviewed, and anyone who has a channel is going to come under scrutiny. Hell, I know I did, and I earned a lot of the hatred I got because of the things I screwed up. I also earned every bit of praise I ever received too. And let it be known that the scrutiny and praise will continue to follow you even after you are done. If another reviewer wants to say the reviewer X is a hack, then let them. If you aren't a hack, their words shouldn't hurt, and your audience will know better. Should they say it? I don't know. We are long gone from the days of Thumper's dad's advice being taken to heart anymore. In a perfect world, everyone would play nice and keep their negativity to themselves, but maybe that just isn't how things should be either. I stand by that. It's just like we live in a world now, I think, with YouTube channels and things like that, where everybody is like, and the board game world is a lot more forgiving right now. But go and look at the world of like Twitch streamers and video game reviewers and things like that. Man, they will seize upon any perceived weakness or shittiness or less than in somebody else. They thrive.
Do they?
On, oh yeah, I mean, there's a lot that are very good, but you can find the ones that just they want to take the time out of their day to trash on what other people do. I mean, it is a commonplace, but it
So
is
they like drama.
Yeah, because that's what sells, right?
Mhm.
I mean, how many times have I said, if you could do a board game video channel that actually took the time to say, like, and not just to get on there and like just to take a shit on a game, but actually take the time to say, this is why I don't think this game is good, and defend it, and be good about it, then I think you do really well. And especially if you could be snarky and negative in a way that was entertaining. No, I mean, would you want to do that? I mean, I don't know what the point would
I don't know.
but I mean, but it's one of those things where like we thrive on the desire to be like, nobody wants to hear. I've said this before. If you're out there and you want to do a YouTube channel and you want people to notice you, you can't do the, hi, this is me, I've got this game from publisher Wackety Dackety, designed by Joe Everyman. Let's dive in and see what it looks like. Here's 6 to 9 minutes of a vague overview of how the game is played. Hey, thanks for coming back and thanks for watching that. I think Pushing Meeples and Cubes is a really fun game. It has lots of cool decisions, and I think it's just a little bit. It's easy enough to teach, but it has enough grit to it that it's gonna stand up to the test of time when it comes to your thing. With all the variable player powers and things in here, it's gonna have lots of replayability. So it's gonna be on your shelf and it's gonna come down and get played a lot. Thank you very much for listening to me talk about this game that you're gonna forget about 10 seconds from now. Please like and subscribe, because that is what 95% of the people that make board game videos does. That is what it sounds like. And that, I mean, obviously people watch that stuff, but
Depends what your goals are.
I know, it totally does.
I mean, if you just want to espouse your love of board game hobbies, I feel like that's perfectly fine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to build a channel that has like, I don't know. I guess there's different types of viewers, right? Like some people don't
Yeah.
want drama or spicy,
Yeah.
right? If you don't want any spicy things, then I mean, or if that's what depends what you want. Like, what's your voice?
Yeah.
Make your own voice, right? Make an opinionated. And I guess if your voice is that opinion, then you're, for lack of a better word, like basic. I don't know if that's really the right word for this, but
Yeah, I don't know.
like then that's what you are. I mean, as long as you're doing it, I mean, it's all about what you want to do and accomplish, right? And maybe you have an audience,
Yeah.
but you don't think that's an audience anymore. I mean, I feel like there's got to be some audience out there for this.
Oh, they're
World's a
absolutely.
big place.
Yeah.
I think it absolutely is a thing where they I think it's absolutely a situation where if you are trying to make your, and I'm not saying this is anybody, so nobody read into this that I think that X channel is whatever. If you're trying to build a channel to get enough exposure that you start getting free stuff from publishers, or you're able to work a side gig and do a few videos and maybe do a couple paid previews here and there and make a little extra cash, then you got to stand out. There's got to be something about you that stands out, that whether it is like your hook, whatever that is. I mean, it's just, you got to have something. Whether, I mean, like, there's lots of people that, it's like, a review in 5 minutes or less. I mean, if you just said, it's like what I what I hate about this, like as far as like, games and like, things like that. I mean, good luck.
Yeah, you have to have a
getting
hook, right? I agree
Yeah.
with that. I agree with that.
So, but if you just want to throw your idea out there and organically let your channel grow and eventually become something, then yeah, just go ahead, make your channel, have fun, do your thing. And like a hook. I just talk about Mage's Musings. I mean, it's just like, there's probably 1,000 channels out there. Maybe there's probably more than that, but there's probably like, thousands of channels out there that are about, hey, this is the D&D game we played, and this is what happened when we played it. Well, there's only one guy out there that I know of that's using a Muppet to be the host, and then is using Order of the Stick paper standees on a map to like describe the action and narrate. And that's that.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
a
the
hook.
hook.
Yeah.
I mean, that's because there's nobody else that's doing it.
Because no other board gamer has big forearms like the Muppet guy. It's a lot of work. Oh,
It is a lot. It's a lot of work.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Take care. Good luck. Whatever it is that you're gonna
He's
do.
got to take his meds.
Actually, I gotta be right back too. Here, Barry and Matt talk.
Oh, great. So, how was your week, Matthew? That good, huh?
Not bad.
Not bad.
I'm just feeling normal again after my trip.
Yeah, that'll wear you down all that traveling.
Yeah, I did for sure. And I was just starting to feel better after getting sick. So
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Better. Sometimes your body just wants to rest.
yeah, I'm pooped though. I think I'm gonna kick off when these guys get back.
Yeah, I had a burnout day pretty much today too.
I had a long day of work, then I played DD. I had to have an unpleasant conversation with an employee today.
That's never fun.
No, it ended out well. It ended up good. We'll probably have to have that conversation with them a couple more times, but I think it's so far I think it ended well, and we're probably going to be in a good spot, but just right now it was things weren't going quite as I wanted, so
Yeah. Well, sometimes there's miscommunications or whatever.
yeah,
Or assumptions made, stuff like that.
nothing that couldn't be solved.
Yeah, it's hard working with people. Yeah, even when you work with them a long time.
Yeah.
I was just actually thinking about somebody I used to work with today.
Yeah.
That ended in a fist fight, but it's a different thing.
That's not good.
There was a lot to that. A whole lot. And it surprised me how the outcome of that was handled.
Yeah.
It was on work property. I could have been fired, but
Just to say yada yada yada.
I said yeah.
Mhm.
Like the band, yes.
Yes.
The yes, the band.
So I played an 8-player game of Station Fall on Saturday after the BGG packing party, punch
Give
party.
me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Give me
8
a second.
players. Pretty crazy.
How long was that?
3 hours,
3?
maybe 3.5.
Ain't bad, I guess.
The rules teach was a bit chunky. I taught it.
Mm.
I
All
probably
right,
could
tell
have
us all about
streamlined it. That game is really amazing. Really,
Never heard of it.
It's outstanding.
It's
Station Fall.
Yeah.
It's a hidden identity game, but it's not a bluffing game. I mean, I guess could be some bluffing, like you might think a person is a certain character. Everybody's a character. as a main, you have a main character and a backup character. You can become your backup character, but you lose the main character's bonus. And then at any point in the game, you can reveal who you are, and then no one can control that character. You can control any character you want if you put influence on it. And spending influence is a resource. So if you spend too much, you can start spending VPs away, but typically you won't, because VPs are very like low. It's like an under 10 points game. So if you're spending influence by like candy, you would not, you're basically like kind of limited. You won't win if you spend too much. And everybody is a character, as I said. And you can, when you reveal, no one can control that character anymore. However, up until that point, any character can be controlled at any moment. Like I could take a move of a character and then someone else can take another move and someone can move my character, even though I don't want them to. So it's pretty interesting. And then if you reveal, no one can control you. Now, there's also basically everyone's out for themselves. There's a concept of being suspect or guilty, innocent, suspect, or guilty. And if you're guilty by the end of the game, you just cannot win. You lose. Even if you're the most, even if you have the most points. So it's just a fascinating game. And every character is completely asymmetric. They're all crazy different. Let's see. So in this game, I was the medic, which was a robot. And once I revealed myself, I get a wrench in my hand so that I can start knocking people out, because I would score points if I heal people. So my goal was to get as much people dead or dying as possible. Not dead, because you can't revive dead people. You can revive knocked out people.
Makes sense.
And I generated a firebomb on turn 1 with a different character, and then someone else picked up that firebomb and threw it into a room full of people. Or characters, should say. And 5 people got knocked out in one roll. So that was awesome. So then my medical robot goes in there and heals everybody. And of course, everybody's excited because I'm like, oh, I'll heal you. And then, hey, I'm the medical. Oh, no, everybody by that point knew I was the med bot. So it wasn't like any surprise.
Right.
And then, of course, on the last turn, I got knocked out. So then I lose my bonus points because I had to be alive at the end of the game, not knocked out.
Son of a bitch.
So anyway, it was cool.
So this is your second time with this?
It's my second time playing. The first time I was with 4.
Would you play again with 8 or?
I'm not sure. It would have to be 8 people that would really want to play the game quickly, because there's some people that are gamers that need to know everything about a game.
Right.
And I think that kind of person does not do well in this game because they will be overwhelmed by the amount of information. It's like,
the beginning. Yeah.
It's an incredible amount of information. We played with 19 characters.
Yeah.
You have to know. Here's what you would need to know to play it correctly. All their abilities. By the way, they each have 2 unique abilities.
Okay.
Not unique, but there might be some overlap. Like there's a bunch of characters on the game that have like the officer ability, which means they can open secure doors and they can do bridge operations and things like that. But almost all of them are unique. Then they all have how they score. You need to know how they score. Right. And all the bonus points they get for scoring. So that's 19 intricate characters to know every single move in the game.
That's a lot of info.
You're like, well, why did that character do this? Well, if you go look at their card, you can see, oh, they'll score a point if something happens, right? You can usually deduce it. Now, do you need to know that? Probably not. Some people I know in my world would not need to know that. And the game would be incredibly slow. It's basically 1 or 2 actions a turn, so fast. Like you can get brain lock where you can you can't do anything really. That near the end of the game, you sort of like, once people start becoming revealed, you can't take control of anybody. You have to like sort of limit your power. But I think that's for the best, honestly. I would play it again with 8, but it would have to be 8 real committed. Like,
right.
You can't not. Maybe 8 that have played it again. Played it before, because I don't want to like go through the rules again. I don't think I want to explain the rules again because it was almost like a half an hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was not great.
Yeah,
I mean, it was okay.
like that.
But I started explaining the rules and I'm like, well, you should, in order to know this rule, you need to know, okay, so there's all the characters. Then there's like 15 rooms on the space station. You need to know what they all do. No question. Like you have to go through it all.
Hmm.
There's all kinds of shit. And then there's a Project X, which is a secret experiment.
Ooh.
There's a whole thing of that. Then there's a whole thing of security console things, and then there's jammers and like copying information, like evidence.
Hmm.
You can
Curious.
manufacture evidence. Then there's this whole like power scenario, all the power. You have to know all the, and then there's a ton of rules. It's like a 45-minute teach, honestly. Anyway.
Do you think it'll stick around?
Yeah, the game is fantastic. I can't imagine. I mean, it's like I didn't think I would like this kind of game, but I freaking love it because it's like emergent gameplay.
Okay. I'm just because it seems like a Game of Thrones or one of them you have to play multiple times. It's a backstabber game.
Yeah, I mean you basically take control of any character to get not exactly what you want, but just cause chaos. You want chaos to happen.
Yeah.
Like if you just let someone just do if you let the Daredevil go get his jetpack and get his helmet and the briefcase and the artifact and get off the board, they'll basically win the game because that's like their whole goal. But once you start seeing a Daredevil walking around, you're like, well, how do I stop this guy?
Right.
Or do I have the opportunity to help to stop him or muck him up a little bit? Or the Astro Chimp. Like the Astro Chimp almost got off the board, but there was a shapeshifter on board that swapped spots with him. So instead of him being on the escape pod, the shapeshifter got onto the escape pod on the last minute of the game.
Okay.
Which I thought was kind of overpowered, but basically the shapeshifter revealed on the last turn and said, haha, I'm really, and the power of the shapeshifter was like trade places with any character in the game and take their items, not key items, but like, like a helmet or like that.
Secondary stuff.
Yeah, secondary stuff. But and that was like a crucial gameplay disaster for the Astro Chimp because the Astro Chimp was like literally on the escape pod. Next turn would have launched off, and then the shapeshifter basically swapped spots with him. Yeah, it's a hidden role game.
Yeah.
Hidden identity. It's not hidden role.
Hidden identity. So do you think this shapeshifter thing would have been realized earlier with more plays?
Well, yeah. Here's the thing: if you knew what the rule, if you knew the goal of the shapeshifter was to swap, like that's just a rule in the back of your head. Like, oh shit, at any moment, whoever is the shapeshifter can reveal and basically swap spots with anybody on the board. So then you'd sort of have to take that into account in your calculation. You might like knock that shapeshifter out right away, right? And even put yourself suspicious. If you become suspicious, if you kill somebody, you become guilty. If the cameras are on.
Okay.
Right. If you like knock somebody out.
Can you go back from guilty?
Can you defend yourself in the court?
You can defend yourself with made up evidence. You can manufacture evidence and take it with you so that when the game is over, you turn in your version of the evidence to the authorities. That's the way to get away from guilt. Or I think there's a legal character, a lawyer, which is another. I've not played with that character, but I suspect it is a way to become unguilty. But otherwise, no, there's no way to become unguilty. Anyway, it's a blast.
This is what I'm interested in.
I would maybe play 4 to 6 people if it was all new. No more than 6. Yeah. The eight pushed it a little bit over the edge for me. I was like, because the turns are also, it took 7 turns in between your turn, right? So you're like, a lot can happen. Yeah. Like that's crazy. That's like a lot of chaos. I feel like 4 to 6 might be the sweet spot. Let's say 5.
Okay. Sounds good.
But it's just it's a fascinating game to me. I mean, and it really shouldn't appeal to me because I sort of hated the end of the game because I got clonked in the head without. There's nothing I could do.
Right.
It was basically literally the person to my left on the last turn of the game. And the last turn of the game is an optional turn, a random end. So it has 1 in 3 chance of not being the last turn of the game. But it will be you'll have 1 more turn. So maybe with 1 more turn, I could have done something, but it was really nothing I could have done. I should have just played better.
Yeah. What's wrong with you? Like me and Eddie.
I should not have sat in a room with another character and not have a helmet. Because the helmet protects you from getting knocked out.
It makes sense.
And no one can take the helmet from you. They can't just, you have to, unless they've got a gun. If they have a gun, they can take the helmet away from you.
Yeah.
You can also, there's this aspect to the game, and I can keep talking about this game. It's called compromat, which is compromising evidence against another character that you can hold and use at a moment to force them to do what you want them to do. Now, if they're not controlled, if they're an NPC, they just do it. It just happens. If they are a PC, if they're a player character, they have to agree to what you're doing. If they disagree, they become suspicious. And if you transmit evidence against a suspicious person, they immediately become guilty. So becoming suspicious is dangerous. You can turn into guilty very quickly.
Cool. Yeah, sounds cool. Yeah, I'm interested. I thought I was video
I
on it.
don't think so.
Trying to
Sorry.
stay awake.
Yeah. Speaking of, I think I'm turning into a pumpkin. I need to go to bed.
Okay, Matthew.
No initials?
Have a good one.
I'm-
Oh, Evan might be
I'm-
on soon.
I'm beat. I can't. Next time.
See you in a couple weeks, Matt. I'll be on the
Yeah.
road next week.
Are you? All right. Well, safe journey wherever you're going.
I'm going to Tejo's.
He's not coming. Matt's not coming.
Yeah, I know. I probably won't be on the boom next week. I'll be probably be in Dallas.
All
Which
right.
reminds me, I
Well,
gotta get the hotel.
Have a good time.
All right.
Both of you at the BGDs. Shut up.
Oh yeah, you're a pussy like that.
Yeah. Okay. We're going. Good night.
See you, Matt.
Well, I probably won't be here next week either.
You won't? Yeah. you're probably
Unlikely.
getting ready.
I mean, maybe. But I
Yeah.
suspect it won't be.
Yeah, me and Jen should just be getting into Texas on Wednesday.
Coming in on Wednesday.
Yeah, I wanted to have Thursday to just decompress from traveling because I know my body. Yeah, we're gonna get on Wednesday.
And you're sightseeing in Dallas on Thursday.
On Wednesday. I want to try and do all that on Wednesday and then just go
But
into
if you get in on Wednesday, you're gonna basically just go sightsee.
maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. Depends on how.
Are you guys driving in or flying?
Yeah, we're driving.
How long is the
don't-
drive?
It'll be 20. Last time it was about 25 hours.
That's a long drive.
Yeah, I did it straight too. Like, I did it myself straight. And Jen flew in.
It's crazy.
This one will be easier. I don't know how I am
Can't sit
now
in the car
driving.
that long.
I got, just my work life. I sat in trucks all my life. Yeah. You get used to that. It's not good on the bike. I was actually talking to the cop across the street about that. Like, he's in the cruiser all day. He said he's problems with his knees and his back and all that. I was like, you gotta get out of that car more, man. Yeah. Sitting in his car is not good.
Sitting is the new smoking.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but we're gonna leave Tuesday early. Yeah, we're talking about that. It's either gonna be early Tuesday morning or at the rush hour. They'll try to avoid that nonsense down by Baltimore and DC. Which is
Drive at night.
Yeah, I do all the time. I prefer to drive from night to day than day to night. Yeah. It's I'm a night person too. Yeah, that's also part of it. And Jen will sleep through anything, so yeah. But yeah, she said she wanted to see the George Bush presidential library down there. And I thought that'd be cool. I've never been to a presidential library. I don't even know where to
I've
close
not
it.
been.
No.
I've not been.
Oh,
Michelle
Yeah.
went.
did she?
Michelle has seen it.
Okay. Yeah, I was surprised. All the other stuff down there. Yeah. We'll probably do something later on in the week too. I doubt she wants to sit in that hotel for 5 days. Yeah. And I'll probably need a break from playing board games. The mental thing. But
Well, the
yeah, she-
airport is not close to anything. Unfortunately.
Yeah, no, you're. It's about a half hour or so. We went to the JFK thing the last time.
It's W Kabuki Kid. George W.
George W. Yeah, Junior.
Library. Junior's library.
Well, sort of junior.
Where's the senior library? Houston?
I don't know. Was it
I'm
there
not
or
sure
is
where
it
it
up
is.
in Connecticut? That's what me and Jen were talking about.
George Bush Senior?
Yeah, I think originally he was
It's gotta
from
be Texas.
Connecticut. Yeah,
Is he from Connecticut?
originally. Yeah, he's a northerner originally. I think
Oh,
it
I
was
didn't know that.
it's one of them northeastern states, and then he moved down there for the oil. But me and Jen were talking about that. It's either if he has one up in wherever he's from up there in the Northeast, it's either that or the Jimmy Carter one down on land would be the closest to me. I don't think anybody has one up in New York. I know there's a couple dead presidents up there, but and then she says she wanted to go to the stockyards again, which again surprised me because I didn't think she was into that. So that'll be fun. I wonder if she's going to set up a security camera for the cats again so she could talk to them.
It's in College Station.
College Station? Where's that?
Yeah, the
College Station what?
Texas.
Oh, okay. Is it?
Yeah. It's halfway between Dallas and Houston,
So what's that, like 2 hours? 3 hours?
something like that. Let's see if there's directions here.
I ain't going that far.
3 hours.
Yeah, I ain't going that far. If I'm not going to travel,
It's a far road.
I'm not going to travel like 6-7 hours to go to
It's like an hour and a half past Waco.
Waco. I was actually just watching something on that not long ago about the.
I don't know if it has the paintings. I don't think it does.
I don't know. Never been.
I've not been. Michelle is gone. I've not gone.
Yeah, Michelle sees more of the museum type than you do.
I mean, I like museums.
Yeah, I mean, she likes the art, what the hell, the garden down there. Arbitrary, not that's the
Arboretum.
bird. Arboretum. I was thinking aviatarium.
We used to live like across the street from it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I see a lot of the big eyeball thing in the center of the town or whatever.
All right. Well,
Oh, there's Evan.
I see Lance's reflection. Oh no.
No, that's a chair.
Oh, it's his chair.
It's his chair. Hello, Evan.
There's something going on in the window though.
Are we just
Yeah.
are we waiting for Lance to spin around and say something?
No, he's not
Yes.
facing that way. He's not even there.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, he's like a Dr. Evil. Hello.
Mm,
What are you guys doing?
we were
None.
just talking about a presidential library.
Talking about presidential libraries.
Like how many awesome games presidents like to play?
I wonder. I'm sure
No.
they do. I think JFK liked diplomacy. Actually,
Oh, really?
it was one of them. I think it was
Uh-uh.
JFK.
Was he? When
I
was that
broke-
game been around?
That was what, like 1960s that it came out, I think. So
I don't
Was it?
know.
yeah, I think so.
I think I heard that.
Oh man, that's bright.
Mhm.
When did diplomacy come out?
Oh,
Feel like
1954.
yeah.
Oh wow, it's been around for a while.
Wow.
I've never
And
played
came
it.
to the US in 59. Woo. I broke up a book club with a game of diplomacy once.
Did
Like,
you?
killed it completely, or just
Yeah.
a single session?
Oh, I killed it completely. I was like, hey, maybe we should throw a board game in, like talk about the book and then play a board game. It was like, yeah, good idea.
Should've
Apparently, it
started
was
with
Henry
easier board
Kissinger's
game.
favorite game.
Oh, really?
Kissinger's? Okay.
That's funny.
We don't really know. I guess JFK. I guess it was advertised as his favorite game.
Okay, maybe that's how I heard about that. Yeah. He's still alive, Kissinger. I just saw something like he's 100 now, or he's up there. I thought he was dead. It's amazing.
I have
how
not played diplomacy. I don't think it's in my
Oh, really?
not really in my
Yeah.
nature of a game, I think.
Mine either, I don't think.
He's 99 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's brutal, man. It's like all the like backstabbing that is possible in most area control classic games, but like times 10.
Yeah, I
It's
don't know
like
if I
the
like that.
backstabbiest of
What's
backstabby.
what's the turn look like in that game? What do you do?
7
Yes.
hours.
So basically, you have your dudes on a map, and you write down your orders. You
Yeah.
say, these troops are moving into this one. These troops are moving into this one. These troops are moving. Well, first you negotiate, and then you write down your orders.
Not
and
publicly.
Right.
Publicly
then
or privately?
privately. And then
Private. So you have to go into a
everybody.
different room.
You could either do it publicly, or you can separate off and make deals privately. And then everybody writes down what they're actually going to do, and then simultaneous reveal. And then like the chips fall where they may.
It's just, and it's basically just full on like this unit kills that unit.
I don't remember exactly how combat worked, but I think it was pretty deterministic. Like I have two
Yeah, it's
dudes,
got to
you
be
have one dude.
it's not random at all.
I think it's deterministic.
I think it isn't. Game of Thrones is somewhat like that.
I haven't played that one actually.
From what I hear, I've played Game of Thrones. I haven't played this.
Yeah, I believe me. I hated it.
It's similar.
Turn one, I was dead,
Yeah,
and I couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah,
Really?
basically, you're like, hey, I'm going to move in here, and if you move in there and assist with this attack, then we'll take him out. And then
Right.
you move in and you get wiped out.
And then I get back-ended. Yeah.
the
Backdoor.
assist never came, and instead he went down here. Yeah,
Yeah. It's that. I hate that.
yeah.
Yeah. No thanks.
Yeah.
It's
I got better things to do with my time
Yeah.
than being lied to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a friend loser for sure.
Could be.
You're like, well, I thought we were friends. Turns out, no, you just backstabbed me. It's brutal.
I don't know if I could. Like, I've heard they're very long games. Like,
Yeah,
even like that Civ game, and I don't know if I could sit through an 8-hour game like that. Like I was
don't remember
watching
how
the
long.
mega games. That is like an all-day thing where the one I was watching was with aliens invading, but it's similar where everybody.
oh yeah, with like 100 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that for a whole day.
I've never tried one, but I definitely I'm scared to do it because what if I liked it? Then I'd be wasting entire days at conventions.
Yeah.
I guess it wouldn't be
Yeah,
wasting.
I guess
if I
it's
liked
not.
it.
Yeah, it depends like how you want to spend the time.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
that might
liked
be
it.
the only time you can do those kind of games. Is that
Right.
Right.
It looks like those people are having a blast. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Now, if you go to a 10-day convention, you can sort of justify it. But 3-day
Right.
or 4 days are hard to justify a whole day
Yeah.
of one game.
Right.
But-
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's nice about the gathering is just it's a week.
Ample time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
You
can do that
can-
kind of stuff.
You can kill a day on one game if you want
Right.
and
Like-
not feel really like guilty about it. I mean, it's not guilt. It's just more of
Right.
like,
Right.
was
I
it my
could've
best
played,
time?
yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It's
Yeah, you
quality over quantity, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. At Gamma, I had a buddy of mine trying to rope me into a role playing game, and I'm like, it's too much time.
Yeah. I guess
like-
it depends on your intentions too, Scott. I mean,
Oh,
I don't,
yeah.
most people going to a convention aren't in the industry. They're just
Yeah, if you're not, yeah, I mean, the game convention for me is less about the games now. It's more about talking to people.
Yeah, that's true. I do.
Yeah.
I do wish there was a little bit more just game playing at conventions, but I guess it depends on the convention you go to. Like BGG Con is great for that.
Yeah, I mean, if you
Yeah.
go to the BG Con and sit in the game room all day, you can get
Yeah.
a lot of games in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. That's true. So it just depends on the con.
That whole eating thing, waste time.
Waste
of time. You don't need to eat and
That's
sleep.
why
enough.
Sleeping,
That's
wasting
why
time.
it does spring in the middle of nowhere. You're forced to do everything there.
Okay, recent play, Lowlands. Have you guys played that?
Yeah,
No.
I
and I'm 50-50 on it. It's like
Yeah.
a 7.
I couldn't decide because I really love the idea of that slider,
Yeah.
with the different valuation of the sheep versus the contribution to the levy.
Yeah, yeah.
I wasn't sure if it I wasn't sure. I love the idea
Yeah.
of it.
I wanted to like it more than I did.
Yeah, yeah. 7's probably about right. Yeah, it was good.
Right, take it or leave it.
It was good.
Yeah.
Or if Lance reviewed it, it
Meh.
gets the fucking job done.
Get the fucking have that.
But Yeah,
what
I mean,
about-
it was fun.
What else have you played?
I did Dune Imperium with all expansions.
How are the
Yeah.
expansions?
They were good. They didn't add too much craziness. Because a lot of times, if you throw an expansion or two
Oh.
at me, I'm like, I don't know. You know, like now there's too many choices. It really didn't do. It really didn't do that. They kept it nice and tight. Like yeah, it's extra stuff to think about, but it's not overwhelming.
I like the one period. I haven't played the expansions. Though.
I
Still
played a
loved
good
it.
party game
Oh really?
last week.
Oh, did you?
Glitch Squad.
Glitch?
I heard
Glitch
that.
Squad. Yeah. It's by the company Resonym, RESONMYM,
I don't think I know.
which is made the Ghost game. Not Ghost game. What is it called?
I don't know what.
I mean, I can't remember. Hold on.
Okay.
I don't want to leave it hanging. Man, I got to turn this monitor down. It's burning my eyes out.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. Why is it so bright?
I don't know why it's so
Scott?
bright. Honestly, it's the,
The hell were you looking
Is
at?
my air conditioner too loud?
no, I can't.
No.
hear it.
No. Okay. Good.
Phantom Ink. Thank you, Kabuki Kid.
Phantom Ink. I don't
Phantom Ink,
remember
which
that
is
one.
fun. I like that one a lot. Which is so basically one person's a ghost giving clues to their team,
Okay.
Yeah.
and the other there's two ghosts giving clues, and you use these cards to like communicate a question like what material is your thing made out of, and then you start giving letters one at a time, like S, T,
Yeah.
E, and then your team can knock when they know it. Like
Right.
I'm communicating to my own team. However, the other team's listening
Right.
Oh, okay.
and they're like, "Oh, it's steel,"
Steel.
or yeah, like or you know, you
Oh,
want to
it's
try to
cool.
convey and then so by the end they like, you understand, like so it's like you're intercepting communication between the ghost and the other team.
Yeah.
That's Ghost. That's Phantom Ink, which is phenomenal. I really love
Yeah, that sounds cool.
it. However, Glitch Squad, it's teams again, and you get a clue for it's everybody gets like the same clue, right?
Yeah.
And gosh, how does it change? Oh, so everybody gets a card. So everybody's playing like, but the same number. So like say the whole number for the game is 6. So every clue in the game will be the number 6 on that card, on a card. So
Okay.
everybody gets a card, and let's say we're doing a place. So I might get amusement park, right? Like is my clue. I have to convey that to my teammate with three other clues. So I'm writing on my little card 3 clues that come up with a amusement park. So you might write like Ferris wheel. I forget I think amusement park might have been. So I can't remember if it was 1 or 2 words. Amusement park is it is the location, but you could write like Ferris wheel, like that's a thing.
Yeah.
Even if they're multi words, like it basically is 1 word clues. So I could write, and then I wrote admission, and I wrote ticket. Okay. Then I pass it to my enemy, I guess the other team, and they get to glitch one of the clues. Right? They change one of the clues.
Okay.
Right.
And then it goes to my teammate, and they have 30 seconds to guess what it is. Okay.
That's cool. So it's 2 truths and a lie.
It's 2 truths and a lie, and it can be changed in a certain kind of an interesting way. Like there's a little bit of rules to it. And then the other team, so like my I think I forget the glitch for mine. It was like admission and ticket, and someone wrote concert. So basically it's sort of like got them away from the amusement park.
Right.
And then there's like if they don't get it right, that other team gets a reveal of their master clue, 1 letter. And then that they're trying to solve. And then my teammate gets a question to ask the other team, like, what was clue 3, like they can say, well, which clue was glitched, or what was this clue glitched? And that's a yes or no. Like, so it was number 3 glitched, and they say yes or no, which can also tell them like more information. And then they have 1 more guess to try to get it right. So it's not like don't get it. You don't ever get it.
Right.
And I would say like 9 times out of 10, everybody got their clues, which was kind of entertaining.
Okay.
Sometimes it was like so hard that it was the perfect glitch killed the whole card, which was awesome, because then the skill of it was coming up with 3 glitches that no matter which 2 which one you glitched, the player would still get it. right? Like
Right.
that was
Right.
became the skill, and that's more challenging than you think.
Yeah. That sounds cool. I love games
Yeah,
like
it was
that.
neat. It was fun, and we initially like there was a lot of rules for the game, which it's kind of a lot of rules, but it's simple. It's a simple concept, right? You're basically
Yeah.
trying to get your teammate to say a word with
Yeah.
3 clues.
I like it. I love. Yeah.
They're both word games, I guess. And then you have a
love that.
master word, and you start revealing your master word one letter at a time, and
Yeah.
there you basically just get it. Eventually, after 4,
Right.
sometimes 5 letters, you would get it.
Yeah. It sounds cool. I like it. I like word games like that.
Yeah.
You know, just one, all those. I like all those.
Yeah, I mean it's a similar design to Phantom Inc. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's just a little different. But I enjoyed it, and I like Phantom Inc. better. I think just because it's a little more quick. Like coming up with 3 clues, unless there's a timer on it.
Right.
Like you can sit there for a while and 3 clues for one word, and one of them has to have a start it with a certain letter. That was the hard.
Right.
That was the thing that
Oh,
kind of made it
interesting.
more
Okay.
challenging. So you would
Okay.
get a card that would just have like a letter S on it,
Right.
and then so you had to put the S
Okay.
on the card somewhere.
Interesting. Okay. So a limiter of some kind. That's
Oh yeah,
interesting.
so the turns took a while, like maybe 3
Yeah.
to 5 minutes. Which
Uh.
one round of a word game for 3 to 5 minutes is kind of a long time.
That is a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, because we were constantly like, the brain starts locking, and you're like, I
Right.
can't think of a word for amusement park that starts with a C.
Right.
or
You
whatever,
can handle 30 or 45 seconds of that, but then past that,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
like,
And then
I
you're
still,
like,
still can't think of one.
eventually we just sort of like cheated a little bit. We'll use Google.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
I'm
What else?
still,
Have you played anything else?
I'm still waiting for Lance to just
I know.
sneakily be in the chair and
He's
then
gonna turn around like, hello.
There's no sneaking with
I
him.
played- I played Colt Express.
Yeah.
Have you played that?
Yeah,
That was a blast.
It was a good
Yeah.
little game.
You know, it's
I
like
don't like
it's-
programming games, but
Yeah, it's silly, but it
All
was
right.
fun.
Yeah.
You know, zany hijinks.
is any
ensue.
hijinks scene? Yeah.
It was fun.
I played ET. Fuck that game. The extraterrestrial.
Yeah, the dice game. The dice in that game make it hard.
I played it twice, and I got the 3 call home dice pretty early on in the one game, and I only got halfway
Oh, yeah.
down that fucking track.
Yeah, because the
Yeah,
dice rolls are terrible.
Is this the 82 one or the 2022 one?
2022.
20. I can see why it was only like
It's on
10 bucks
It's
on
it's in
Amazon.
Target.
Okay.
No, this was on Amazon, like 10 bucks.
Yeah, well,
That's one of the reasons
originally
I
it was in
got it.
Target.
Yeah.
It was a Target exclusive for a bit.
Help ET escape federal agents so he can go home.
We also played Runebound again last weekend.
Oh, cool.
Runebound 3rd edition got short shrift.
That one looked really cool.
Oh,
It's
the
because
Pog thing
it's
is-
not a campaign. The minis are not great.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, they're just okay. It's just you
Yeah.
have one mini for your character.
Yeah.
And it's not a campaign.
Right.
It's like you finish the game. And it's a little simple.
well, is it?
But it's
you know,
fun
is,
'cause you
is
can
it pretty
finish
replayable? Like, you know.
Yeah, it's totally replayable.
Oh,
yeah.
well then that doesn't bother me. I guess I'm not really a campaign guy overly anyway.
Yeah, it
but-
just doesn't have a lot
Yeah.
of. I wouldn't call it. It doesn't have much depth,
Okay, gotcha.
right? It's a simple system.
Yeah.
Go around. It's 0 to hero game. Like you
Yeah.
you start with nothing and you got to level up and beat the final boss.
Okay, yeah. I don't mind that.
I like the co-op version better because I don't like, the competitive one is like whoever's the first person to kill the bad guy wins.
Yeah.
I like it. All lose or all fail or all win. All lose or all fail. All win or all lose.
Right. Instead of everybody else does a bunch of damage and then you stab it for one.
That doesn't work that way, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
But you could basically end up building the whole game and then never get a shot at the boss because the boss will be dead.
Right.
Hmm.
At least I think that's how it worked. And
Yeah.
I've not played the original in a long time, but like only played the co-op recently, but I think that's the way it worked.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was basically first person to kill the boss back before.
Yeah. Yeah, if the system is compelling and the storyline is compelling, then I don't really mind, if it doesn't have
It's
minis
probably
or
like a
anything
once a
that.
year play.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't need lots of replay.
Yeah.
If you're gonna replay it a lot, then play Gloomhaven or Frosthaven or something.
Right. So
Does that all change every game? We punched Frosthaven at the BGG Con party. Holy crap.
how
Did
long
you?
did that take?
Took hours.
I have
One
no
game.
interest in that game. Yeah.
I double teamed it with one guy. He started, so the BGG Con party starts at 1 p.m., right?
Yeah.
We were basically done by like 5:30.
Hmm.
Except him. Although he did 2 games. The second one was Frosthaven.
Yeah.
And then we teamed up together, and then it started turning into like a 4-person job. But we bagged every monster, and then we punched every bit, stored it all in the trays, opened every card deck. Hopefully somebody will play it.
I'm sure somebody will, Scott. How good is our gamers with the library, Scott? Like, do you come back? The games come back with missing pieces a lot, or 50-50?
Inevitably they do, but
Yeah.
not on purpose. Usually.
Yeah,
We'll find pieces on the floor all over the place. If you like games being complete, don't start a library,
yeah. I assume
because
that.
you will
Right.
lose lots of pieces.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Yep.
Especially at a
Yeah.
hotel,
You know,
because the tables aren't huge, and then shit gets knocked off, and it goes on a mesmerizing floor.
Yeah,
Like all hotels have like mesmerizing carpets to hide the dirt.
yeah.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Like pieces. Yeah.
but for fun.
Yeah.
There's no game in the library that wouldn't matter if we lost it. I've sort of pulled out the ones that matter.
Right.
Right.
Like the $1,000 Catan or the
Right.
Yeah.
$2,000 War of the Ring. Like, come on.
Yeah.
It's ludicrous.
Are there
Yeah.
any games in there that you pulled out that are not high value that you just like are super attached to and it's tough to find, that kind of thing?
No.
Okay.
I mean, if Queen's Gambit got killed or destroyed, I would be annoyed, but I'm not going to lose sleep over it.
Yeah.
Right.
Fair.
Yeah.
I mean, Queen's Gambit's probably like the most valuable game in there that is irreplaceable.
Right.
I mean, you can probably find a copy. Just depends on how much you want to spend. The ones we pulled out are Catan in the chest, because that's just ludicrous price.
Right.
And
Yeah, the wooden chest one.
the wooden one, and then
Yeah.
also War of the Ring, which is just ridiculous.
Right.
It makes it too much of a target.
Right.
Right.
Like, I don't care if it would. I mean, I just don't care if it would. If someone stole it, I wouldn't care. But
Right.
Right.
doesn't mean I want to make it a thing.
Right.
The wooden small world is also not in the library anymore.
Right.
The wooden chest small world.
Yeah.
Yeah, the super rare stuff is just.
That makes sense.
I'd care for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense.
I wouldn't lose sleep over it.
He returns. Yeah, I'm looking forward to next week. Yeah. I have no plans, but I look forward to it next week.
Well, the Spiel des Jahres being there
That I did
is
want to see.
awesome, because you can play a whole day in that area, and you will learn every game.
Yeah. What's happening next week?
BGG Con.
The spring.
Oh,
It's a
BGG
week from
spring.
it's a week from next weekend. It's not the week. This weekend's the next weekend.
Okay. Yeah. BGG spring. I'll have to come to that one of these years
Yeah.
because I love the November one.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
You
What's
said it's
the
more
difference?
family focused. Is that?
Not
true?
necessarily.
Okay.
Not anymore. He's trying to get away from that. It was a big
It's
fuck
not,
up.
I mean, it's just it's an all ages show.
Yeah.
It's just a little more notched down. Not in a
Yeah.
bad way.
Yeah.
In a good
Just
way.
like a little smaller. Kind of thing.
I mean, it's a little smaller compared to BGG Con of now, but BGG Con of yore, it's basically as big as the old ones.
Yeah.
Like from 2012 onward.
Yeah.
Like 2012 up to 20, I want to say 2015
16, Scott.
or 16.
I was at 15. It was at the old building.
Yeah, 16 was the where we moved, I think.
Yeah.
Or 17? When did we move?
I don't
I don't
remember.
remember now.
It was after 15. I know that.
Yeah, I mean, if you reverse time by like 8 to 10 years, that's where spring is.
Right. Because it's still in the old.
It's at
The
the
old
old. It's at
place,
the
yeah.
hotel at the airport,
Yeah.
which is a nice hotel.
Yeah, it was a nice hotel. It's just in the middle of nowhere.
It's at the DFW airport,
I was like,
Middle
that
of
sounds
nowhere.
super convenient. Yeah.
in between Fort Worth and Dallas. But there's a good city. Grapevine is a bit nice city.
What's it called?
There's plenty of things.
Grapevine. Yeah. No, I mean, if you don't have a car, you're screwed. You
Grapevine.
know, you're
Grapevine.
gonna depend on.
Yeah, you need
Uber
a
for
car.
everything.
Well, no, there's a shuttle that goes to Grapevine, to downtown Grapevine.
Oh, does it? Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I take it back.
I think it's actually started up again. I need to see though. I mean, it shut down during COVID, of course.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. It might be back. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, the city is in. Here's the thing. The city is benefits from having a shuttle.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So there will be a shuttle if they.
Is that where Bob's was?
There's the Bob's nearby.
Okay, I think
Me and
that's the one I
me
was
and
at.
Keith went there.
I think it's the one Jen and I went to. That's her only plan is to eat steaks. Yeah.
Bob's is pretty good.
Yeah, it was.
Get a reservation.
Yeah, I should. I got to talk to her about that actually. When she wakes up. There's a few things we got to do tomorrow.
I do like a good steak now and then. I almost never think of going out for a steak, but then when I do, I'm like, oh yeah, this is good. I should do this more often.
We lost Matt, by the way.
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah,
was-
I noticed. I said we were missing one. So.
Oh, he knew I was coming on.
he knew.
I gotta
Yeah,
go.
he said he was getting over a cold and he's just tired. He's been doing a lot of traveling. Yeah, I get it.
What's up, Lance? How you doing, man?
No, not too bad. How'd your play test go?
It was good. It was good. We're having a blast. It was fun it was nice to hear your voice.
Yeah, I hope I didn't interrupt anything.
Are you on a
No.
recording?
No, we were doing a
Oh, Slack.
play test for on Discord with Josh.
Oh,
for,
and Lance jumped in.
yeah, he jumped in. He was like, "Hey guys, what up?" It was fun. I was like, "What's up?" man?"
Better get those initials cracking, says Kabuki.
Oh,
Before
Alright,
we lose Aldi.
I'm ready.
I got 15 minutes.
Okay,
Oh, yeah?
I'm ready.
Although
You
I could
got-
probably
Wait,
stay up a little
are you
later.
going to turn into a
Although-
pumpkin or what?
I mean, I've been getting up really early this past couple of days. We had our floors cleaned,
Ooh.
which, by the way, I did not realize was going to take 3 days.
Yeah, that sounds
Fucking
like
hell.
sounds like somebody's fleecing you. Is what it sounds like.
Yeah, it depends
Yeah,
on
it's
how
a
big the
slow
house
process.
is. Yeah. What exactly? you're
Slowly
doing.
but surely.
Don't call
Um,
me Butt Shirley.
Yeah.
Butt Shirley was my
Well,
father's.
it was 2 solid days, and today was just a touch-up day.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't even think they really needed to come in. It was on the schedule, though, somehow, and they showed up.
Oh, we're not going.
But they did a ceiling pass.
Yeah, oh, that's cool.
Sealant.
Oh, hardwood,
No, marble.
marble.
It's a marble floor,
Marble.
which I don't think I would if I was. It was my choice to make a flooring decision in a house. I don't think I would use marble.
No, it's
Why-
a pain in
why
the
is that?
ass.
It's a pain in the ass. Everything etches it.
Yes.
Like even like if you spill anything on it, you have to clean it up instantaneously. You have to,
Yeah.
you have to
Really?
really get it clean too, because if you leave any residue, even like a lemon or a lime
Yeah,
drip on
yeah.
it, it will damage it.
That's
Does
a pain in the
it
ass.
like
And it
eat
shows
into
a
it,
lot
or
of-
does it discolor
Yes.
it?
No, it
It'll
eats into
both. Yeah, it'll.
It
Interesting.
etches. There's
Yeah.
many. You don't use any vinegar. You can't use any vinegar. You can't use any cleaning products on it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it basically gets dirty,
Yeah.
and the only thing you can really use is water. So it's
Can
like
you- so what about for just regular old soap?
Dawn. Yeah, you can use Dawn dishwashing liquid. That's it.
Interesting. Wow, that's finicky.
Yeah, I don't love it.
That's interesting.
I mean,
I
it's
didn't realize.
luxurious, no question. It's I'm like,
Right.
oh, marble, but now it doesn't to me look like luxurious as
Yeah,
what I want it to look like.
it
But
looks like
just
a
because
paper clip.
it's well, to really get marble shiny, you have to really it's like
Polish the hell out of it.
polish it
Yeah.
down, and then repolish it, and then repolish it, and repolish it. I'm like, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I just want it clean.
Yeah.
Now I just want clean. Yeah, granite would be. I mean, I think if I do it again, I would do all hardwood all throughout the house. I mean, it's
Yeah.
only so the marble is only in the entryway,
Right.
and the stairs are marble.
Yeah.
Which is a pain in the ass too. They
Yeah,
just
I'm
get dirty. They just get
Yeah.
scuffed.
I'd be
Yeah.
afraid of slipping on them.
It's not slippery,
Oh, is that?
but I mean, I don't walk around in my bare feet, so maybe it is
Oh,
slippery.
see, I do.
Like
Yeah.
you wouldn't want to wear socks on it, like you.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Let's get her do the risky business.
yeah,
slide
no,
or whatever.
I think there would be some differences in the house if we were rebuilt. I know it's not. I mean, we're never moving. We're here
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
You can remodel at some point.
We'll do initials here in a second, but I was gonna, so that that YouTube channel I stumbled upon that just has giant 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, whatever long
Reviews.
reviews of, and it's more of just an
Video
essay.
game?
No, the video game guy, that guy Noah Caldwell Gervais is and he just does. So I was watching, I just have him on as like background noise a lot when I work. And it's kind of funny if you go to like his older stuff from like 5-6 years ago, his videos are only like 44-45 minutes long, but like his later stuff, like I talk about every single Resident Evil game, and it's like a 9-hour long video where he just goes through every and does does thing. But anyway, so he was talking about this game called Tyranny, and I was just like, and he was talking about it, and it's like, it's if you ever played it's kind of like the same, some of the same people that made Baldur's Gate and stuff like that, like made the game.
Oh yeah, I remember too. I remember that game.
Yeah, so I was like, that game sounds cool, and I was just like, I'd probably enjoy playing that. And then I said no, and then I literally said, I bet it's super cheap on the old Steam, because it's an older game, it's like 6-7 years old or whatever. No, I own it, because I bought it at some point. Lord knows
Couldn't
when.
get through it.
Yeah,
Looks
Lord knows
cool.
when, but I must have purchased it on a Steam
Oh, you
sale,
already
so I
bought
thought
it.
looked
Yeah,
good.
yeah. You
I
probably got
I
suckered
pulled-
into it like me.
Yeah, I did a search for Tyranny, and it said,
In your
I
library?
was like, yeah, no, and it said like the mega bundle is like $35, and with all the DLC, I was like, that's
Yeah,
cool.
in my
And I was
library.
like- and then I looked at it, I was like, yeah, in my library. Oh,
Yeah, same.
hey, it's 0 cents for me, because
Yeah. Because
You
you
already
own
owned
it.
it.
It looks
'Cause it-
cool.
at some
It
point
It does look cool. It just feels like it doesn't. I don't know. I couldn't get into
it has a very cool opening sequence where because the whole premise behind it is that basically there's this land, like fantasy, insert name of fantasy land of whatever,
Yeah.
and there is this omnipotent ultimate ruler that has taken over 90% of this land, and the last 10% is going to fall, and you are what's called a faith binder, which is you are one of the chosen of this like omnipotent overlord's like number one archon, like basically their number one follower, and you are one of their chosen, and you are one of the few people that can take an edict from basically this hyper religious leader, this omnipotent ruler, that gives you an edict that basically is a scroll that has massive power, that and then when you read it, it like this power will happen, and because you have this special power that allows you to do that.
Okay.
And so, but before you even do your very first thing, when you're creating your character, you do the whole thing where it's like you create your character and you take this skill and that skill and you decide what kind of combat you're going to do. But you go through the like beginning of the battles of taking over this last section of thing, and then depending upon, and it just all it does is say, did you do this or did you do this? And depending upon the choices that you pick when you start the game, while you are one of these chosen people, there are these two armies that are the armies of the chosen. And one and they're, while they both are working for the common goal, they both have radically different processes in how they go about it.
Sure.
And depending upon the choices that you made when you go through it, as you go through the game, those choices will determine how those armies treat you, which one will like how, and you know, like how they will react to when they see you, and also how likely or how possible it is that you will actually like join the rebellion against this omnipotent thing. And it's just, and I was like, that's really cool. That was a really cool idea. And
you know, that's the fun part of Fable too, you know, where it's like,
yeah,
you know, you kind of create your own.
So I started it up. I started it up a few days ago, and I played about, I put about an hour into it, and man, there's a lot of world building there. If you just want to go, hey, go there and do this thing, go there and do it. But I mean, man, oh man, you can get lost in conversations with the people you run into that, like, you know, if you want to plumb the depths of all of their storyline and why they do what they do, and it isn't without benefit either, because certain things that you answer and certain things you do will raise your favor in different groups or raise the loyalty if that person's a follower. And when you or make them hate you, and actually like getting those things and raising those up as you talk will unlock abilities and things like that you can do. And yeah, I mean, so it's not like you just, okay, go through the stuff, read the thing, you know, or whatever. Yeah.
Sounds neat.
Yeah, no, it's
I think I'm broken with video games.
You are broken.
Just
because
you
I don't like
long.
Zelda at all.
Oh, really?
I can't make myself like it. I mean, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try a little bit harder, but I really am having a hard time playing it.
Any Zelda or the new?
The new one. The new one. And everybody's like, "Oh my god, it's the best! It's 11 out of 10." I'm like, "Oh no, what's wrong with me?"
So my son said he didn't want it, and then he watched a couple of TikTok videos about it, and he decided he wanted it. And so, I got to tell the story. This is a great story.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just something's wrong.
So
with me.
He decided he wanted it, of course, a week after it comes out. So nobody has it, right? I mean, it's sold out everywhere.
It's on digital.
Well, my son doesn't like to do digital on there. He likes having the cartridge for whatever reason. So I don't know, but he's my son, and if that's what he says he likes,
you gotta swap the cartridges out.
I think he likes because then you don't have to download a bunch of stuff, and I think he likes.
It's all downloaded one time, done.
I
mean, if that's the logic of a 9-year-old, Scott, come on.
Yeah,
he's 11. So
11.
Anyway.
Sorry, I'm thinking of somebody else.
But anyway, so, and he wanted it, right? And he was like, ours, and then his mom made a deal that he'd pay for half and we'd pay for half, and you know, so what happened? So he said that so I searched online and I found like Walmart, one of the 3 Walmarts in my area had it, and so I just said buy, pick up at store. And I was like, I said, you know, I give like a 9 chances out of 10 that I'm going to get an email at some point in the morning that says we don't have this in stock, you know, because somebody's going to come in at night. If they actually did have one, which I doubted they did, somebody's going to come in the middle of the night and buy it. And somebody there to pull it and that kind of thing. And so sure enough, when I got up in the morning, it was gone. You know, like they said, sorry, we can't complete your order. You know, just like, okay, well, that sucks, but whatever. And then, but then I looked, and then one GameStop. There's 3 GameStops in town, and one GameStop had one. And then they said, order now, and we're ready to pick up in less than 2 hours. So I ordered it. It's a GameStop in a mall, and I ordered it.
Wow.
And sure enough, about an hour later, it's like, we got your game set aside for you. And I was like, cool. So after school, I took him to the mall, and I walked into GameStop, and I haven't been in a GameStop in a long time. It's been a long time since I've been in GameStop, because I mean, I don't buy any physical games.
Xbox 360.
Yeah, no, I don't buy any. I don't buy any physical games for my PlayStation 5. I just digital, right? I even bought an SD card for it to increase the size, this thing, because
Yeah.
like I researched into that, how to install it and everything like that, and it's pretty slick. But so I walk in and there's one guy, and I walk in and there's this guy standing there, and he's like kind of weirdly behind the counter, but not behind the counter, like he's off to the side, and he doesn't look like he works there. But there's nobody else in the store. I mean, the mall's dead. I mean, it's like the mall
It's
closed
dead
at
and doesn't
7.
know it.
Yeah, no. I mean,
Just know it yet.
the mall has a ton of stores. It's actually it actually is very well populated with stores, but they because nobody wants to work anymore. It's open from 10 to 7, and
10 to
on
2.
and on Sundays I think it's open like from 10 to 5.
Sounds like my
that.
clinic hours.
That's
I love
normal
it.
for Sunday.
Yeah, so whatever. So but it used to be we opened at 9 and we closed at 9. It was just like the mall was open for 12 hours. It was
Right.
just like, but now it's just so I'm standing there and I'm kind of looking around, and I've got my thing with whatever. And then my son sees the display box. It's on the wall. Like I want this, and say, but because they don't put they don't want you to steal it, right? So it's like, so the display
it's
box
empty
is out
boxes.
there. Yeah, it's an empty box. And I was just kind of looking at it, and my son goes, "Hey, they got it." And I was like, "Yeah, I already ordered it." He's like, "Oh, okay." But then there's this guy there, and he says to me, yeah, the guy went in the back." And I was like, "Huh?" I kind of looked at him. I was like, "What?" And he kind of muttered it too. It was weird, And I was like, "What?" And he said, "Oh, the guy's in the back." I was like, "Okay." I ordered the game from here, and I was like, this is it's already kind of a weird, conversation I'm having already. And so then, so I'm just kind of standing there and I'm looking at the other stuff they have, and I'm just like, wow, it's like this is so weird, being in an actual like video game store, and they got their video game channel going, 24/7, kind of like half watching that, and then finally like this guy comes up, and it was like, how like when somebody who works at a store has the name tag, because they have that lanyard at GameStop, right?
Yeah.
They have the lanyard, and they have but this guy had a lanyard that had a thing that just said GameStop, and then like scrawled in Sharpie was his name. Kane was his name, actually.
Kane?
And it was
Kane
Kaine, and I was like,
Okay.
so obviously he
Nice.
was not.
Kane.
I mean,
Kane.
so he was probably a relatively new employee, right? I mean, he hadn't gotten his official GameStop.
Didn't got his
name
lanyard
tag.
yet.
Yeah,
It's his second day on the job.
whatever. And I mean, he looked like he was in his early 20s, I mean, but he was kind of like, he had kind of longish hair and kind of a bad goatee and looked kind of greasy, but I mean, whatever. He seemed like, and he came up and he was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we got that." And he's like, "Okay, well, cool. I want to buy it." And he's like, "All right, cool." And then he proceeds to take out that big giant thing they have with all the little all the UPC symbols on it. And he's searching through it, and he's
A
he
book?
takes up the scanner,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
no, like a 3-ring, I think a 3-ring binder.
Three-ring binder.
Yeah. And he pulls it out and he gets it, and then he's like, "Yeah," and he's like, boop, like that, and and he's like, "Oh, that'll be, whatever it was like 400 some bucks." And I was like, "Oh, the guy's
400
buying."
and some bucks.
Well, I was like,
40.
he's buying a system. I was like,
He's buying a system.
he must be buying a system or whatever. And he's like, "Cool." And then he walked over, and then he was like, "Okay." And the guy gives his credit card or whatever. He's doing his thing, and I'm like, "God damn it! I just want to get this thing and get out of here." But this is taking, because this guy is just also kind of twitchy and weird. And then I noticed my son still had that box in his hand. He was sitting there looking at it. But the weird thing about those things with the box is that they just have the cover in the front, but on the back there's nothing about it, right? It's just it's
The shell with a piece of paper.
Yeah, it's a shell with a piece of paper. Yeah, so there's nothing on it, and so he's kind of looking at it. And then I noticed that 2 other people had come into the store, and they kept on looking over at my son, who had this thing in their hand. I was like, "Oh, I bet they want to get that game," because they kept on, and you could see them "Oh, the thing." I was like, I said, Caleb, go put that back on the wall. And he's like, oh, why? And I was like, just because, it's like, we don't need it. Go put it back. And he's like, but I want to get the game. And I was like, yeah, I already bought the game. It's here. It's waiting for us. And he was like, oh, okay. So he goes and puts it back. And sure enough, as soon as he puts it back, like they scuttle over and they grab it. They snag it like off the wall, like as soon as he put it down, because they must have thought like, oh, yeah, it's the last copy or something like that. Really. And so now in the meantime, while that happened, the guy buys it, whatever, 400 some bucks or whatever. And the guy walks over to the door that the guy came out of. Remember, he was in the back somewhere. And he comes over and he's like, and I just hear him say, oh, that's not good. And like, he was like this weird, like, he's like, what? And then like, and he's sitting there and he's just like, and I look, and he's trying to open the door and he can't get the door to open. And he's just like, huh. And then you see him and he kind of like has this weird like look in his face and he kind of wanders back and he went over to the thing and again, this is like, this shit only happens to me.
You're talking about this is the customer or the owner or the
guy working. The guy working.
He couldn't open the door.
He was like, yeah, he's
The
like,
back door.
And
It's
he's
a
like,
second day job.
that's not. He's like, that's not good. And again, remember, like these things.
Oh no, he
all,
locked his keys in the back.
So he's like, this only happens to me, kind of thing. But no, but it was also happening to this guy too, right? Yes, I was like, it isn't just me. It wasn't just me getting screwed. And so then the guy, so he goes over and he's like, and he's pulling all these drawers open underneath the thing.
Just looking for the spare.
And so then all of a sudden he pulls out this key, and I was like, oh, thank God he found the key. And then he walks over and he's like, and you see him and he's like,
wrong key.
and you can just sense this guy's like going, oh no, like he's like, oh geez. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, and then he comes back over and he says, and he's just like, and he doesn't say anything to the guy, but we both can tell what's going on. And he picks up the phone and he's like, and he's like, and I don't remember what I'm just gonna say the guy's name is Kyle, be called. But I don't remember what the guy's name is. Like, yeah, hi, Kyle. Yeah, this is Kane over at the ball store. Yeah, he's like, Kane. Yeah, so the door in the back, like, just mysteriously locked. And the thing was, it was like, it's probably one of those doors that you have to use a key to open every single time to open.
Yeah, it's like a hotel door.
Yeah, and as soon as it closes, and so at the very first, he first said it mysteriously locked on me. Later on, he actually said the door actually closed or something like that, and basically and he had left his keys to open the door.
Jimmy'd open, yeah.
Yeah, they probly had something on the floor, or maybe they relied on the tension of the or just something to keep it open when they need to. And he sat there and so he's like, yeah, I know, I tried the key. He's like, yeah. He's like, okay, well, I mean, maybe we could just, I could, he's like, I could call Renee, and he says, and this guy is staring at him like, I just gave you 400 some bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Where's my? And then he's in there, and the guy's just like, you could tell he's getting annoyed, and he's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna like try every key that I can find that's back here to see if I can get this door open. And so then he So he hangs up the phone and he starts grabbing he's like opening up every drawer, and anything that has a key on it, he's like grabbing it and like he's looking at it. And you can just tell like some of the keys like aren't the right keys just because of the size of keys and stuff like that.
They're skeleton keys.
And you could tell he's getting amped up. He's like, oh my God, I locked that door and whatever, and I screwed up, and like this guy's gonna be pissed off, and now like these customers are waiting and whatever. And they're getting annoyed, and like so then he goes over the door and he's like trying to open it, and he's like trying another key and it won't open, trying another key and it won't open. And the guy finally says, you know what? He's like, I gotta go pick up my son from school here in a few minutes. I was getting him this as a surprise. Look, I'm not going. Let's just do a return on the item, and I'll just come back like later on tonight, or he was like, well, we close in like a half hour. Fine, I'll come back tomorrow and I'll get it tomorrow. Okay. And he's like, oh, okay. And so then he goes over and like, and the guy gives him his receipt, and he's just sitting there and like, and you see him and he's just like, he's like trying, and he takes out that 3-ring binder thing again. And he's like, and you can hear, and that noise that when something happens, when it isn't working, like, boop, it's like, and like, I have now done this laugh at least a half a dozen times, like, because I try not to laugh at this guy.
Poor kid.
He's like literally like, oh my God, this sucks. And I mean, it's like, but 9 times, boop, boop, and then like he's like stops and he's like, boop, and he's like looking at the computer. He's like, just, just like, and I'm like, I'm laughing. And the guy actually turned around once to look at me like, just like, and then he's like, oh, and then he's sitting there and he has this like, he trails off, and it's just like, and then he finally says, so I can't actually do the return because I have to actually have the serial number from the system.
Oh man. Poor kid.
And I'm watching this guy's face. It's like turning red, you know. And I mean, it's just bad luck, right? I mean, the guy didn't need to lock the door or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then while he says that, the guy's like, he's like, what do you mean? And I hear this, boop, like one more time it would work.
One more time it might work.
Just
That's
please.
amazing.
For the love of- So he's just like, yeah, and then so the guy's like, he's like, do they have the system in another GameStop? And he's just like, well, and he's just like, well, he's like, and he's like, they have one over at this one, and there's actually a GameStop pretty close by, you know, it's like maybe a 5-minute drive. It's in a little strip mall. And he's like, okay, well, is there some way, like, can I just go get one from them then? And then you guys could
This is above his
transfer
pay
this
grade. I
one.
can see it now.
You could just transfer this one over there. So they went, and he's like, oh. And then he like takes the guy's receipt. He's like, I'm gonna write a note that says it's okay for you.
And they'll honor it.
I wouldn't take that. No.
I swear.
And the guy's
I'd be
like-
like, you need to call the manager now. Get the fucking door open.
The guy's like,
Or
the guy's-
or refund my money. I mean, honestly, it's like.
well, yeah,
easy
but
as
he
that.
he
kids
couldn't,
try
he
it,
couldn't,
Scott.
he couldn't refund it, right? And I'm just like, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm
You
just
can-
like, oh, this poor bastard, you know. And it's just like, and I wish I could say one more time, boop, but he had given up at that point, right? And then he was just like, he's like, you know what, actually, and then the guy said, you're gonna need to call him and let him know that I'm coming over there for that. Otherwise, they're not gonna believe anybody.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. And then the phone rang. And he's like, GameStop, West Vegas Mall, and then and he's like, oh hey Renee. And he's just like, yeah, so the door got nudged and it blocked, and I can't get into the back room anymore. Is there any way that like you could drive out here? And then there's just like, uh-huh. Okay, I'll try that. And then he like, I don't know what he did, but he walked over to the door and click, it just opened. It's just like
The magic touch.
I don't know what it was. And then so then he picked up, and like it was like the Horizon Zero Dawn special edition PlayStation 5, you know,
Cool.
system or whatever. And the guy got his stuff. And so I mean, so it ended happening. Now the
Door
The
closed
added-
again.
the added bonus was he comes out, and I mean, and I feel bad because I actually absolutely laughed. I was like, ha! Just laughing at this guy's poor misfortune, you know, just like, And he's like, "Hey, I'm so sorry for the wait. How can I help you?" I was like, "Don't worry about it, my man." And I was just like, "I'm here to pick up. I'm here to pick up." And I was like, and I stupidly, I had left my phone in the car. I'd taken it off. I put it down. And he's like, "Do you need my phone? Do you need the thing on my phone, or can I just tell you?" And he's like, "Well, what's the name? What's the email address? What's it associated with?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm here to pick up a game." And he starts like pulling out all the drawers looking for this game, and I thought, "Oh my God, he's not gonna be able to find it." And eventually he opened one up, and like I showed him my ID. I had my ID. I mean, it's like that's my name, and he pulled it up, and then he was like, and he kind of looked at it, and he was like, it was like this big piece of paper wrapped around it, and it was rubber banded on, but I could tell it was the Switch, game, the little like thinner thing. And he says, and he's like, "Okay, yeah, here you go." And I was like, "Cool, thank you so much." It's like, "Hope you have a good," I was like, "Can I have a bag for it?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." And he has a bag. I was like, and I made the crack. I was like, "Only 45 minutes to go, man. Then your day's over." He's like, "Oh, I know. It's been a long day." I was like, "All right, well, have a good day." And then as I watched the person walk up to him, he's like, "Yeah, hey, I want to buy this." And he's like, "We don't have any." And they were like, "Well, he got one." And he's like, well, and then he kind of looked at me, and I was walking on, and like, "Well, I mean, no." He said, "We don't have any. We sold out of that game like just days after it came out." And the guy said, "He just bought one." And he's just like, "Oh, well, he pre-ordered it like months ago." And I was like, "No, I didn't. I bought it this morning."
Wow, you found a crack in the system.
I don't know. No, what I think is that like that guy's an idiot. I mean, and he shouldn't be working at
Well,
GameStop.
whatever works, right?
Well, would you prefer him be a GameStop or somewhere else?
I mean, I'm sure the pre-order that works a lot.
I don't know. But I mean,
I wonder what the paper was around it.
I don't know.
No saying this is the last one in the store.
Yeah, it was just like, and he just handed it to me. I mean, maybe it was saved for somebody else, but my son has it now, and he's enjoying it. But I'll say this: when I watch my son play that game, he drives me bananas watching him, because like me, whenever I play an open world game, I'm always the person who's like, okay, if I'm going to be leaving this area, I search every nook and cranny of that area before I leave, because games always hide crap somewhere.
Right.
They always put stuff in some.
Zelda. This game is not. I don't know if this is that kind of game.
I don't know, but he's just
I couldn't
like,
find anything on the first. I mean, I played it. I probably put in like 10 hours of this game already, and I just feel like I got nowhere. I mean, I got through the first part of it, but like, I'm kind of like done with it. Like, I don't want to play it anymore.
well, I mean,
something about it.
You gave up on Elden Ring, the greatest game of all time. So I mean, what are you gonna do?
I'm probably broken. It's true. I'm fully 100%.
Well, I mean, like I said, I
look at my Facebook feed and it's like, oh my God, the gushing of the game. I'm like,
is it though?
Are we playing the same game?
I mean, that's how I feel about.
Like, I feel it's like it's so tedious. You're like building a raft, and it's like it takes it half an hour just to build. Like, the controls are clunky. It's just I can't be bothered.
Yeah, I don't know.
The raft doesn't work right. It sinks. It's like there's all these like annoying things in the game. I mean, I want to like it. Believe me, it's not for me, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I built a thing like 4 times that kept completely. Have you seen the game at all? Like you have to build things to go across thing. Like you have to like attach. It's got this crazy physics system in the game. Like you're like putting together like bridges and like boats and stuff.
That's
like
cool.
with the stuff in the world, like, which is cool, right? Except it's really hard. It's clunky. At least for me, it is.
That sounds frustrating.
And you have like it as soon as it brings up the vector diagram of a rotator, like the sphere of the rotation, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
I can't. Oh no, this is not what I want to play. I'm like playing with like a Rector set. Anyway, I'm obviously in the minority because they're freaking loving it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, get good.
Yeah, get good, right? I
Good.
mean,
Get
but I mean,
good.
like I said, like I've said repeatedly, I'm waiting for the next game that's gonna be. I mean, like Elden Ring was such a
Sure.
massive, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how great this game is, and I haven't had anything like that since.
This is my moment where I was just like, I'm done with this game. So you get to the top of this mountain and you get a glider. And of course there's a fan, an engine over here. I'm like, okay, I grab the engine and I get it all lined up. I get the glider lined up and it's on the ground, right? It's just sitting on the ground. I put the fan on it and the thing goes like like it basically just torques into the ground and it's not going anywhere. I'm like, okay, there's obviously not the right way. So then I find a launch pad with a like a channel dug out of for the glider to go in. I'm like, okay, I get the glider in there and I put the fan on it. I turn it and I accidentally hit the button to turn on the fan. Like you strike it with a sword to turn it on.
Mm.
And then I see the glider go. Shoom. I'm not on that glider. The glider is. I'm chasing. I'm running after him. Like, oh no, can I get on the glider? Nope, it's gone. It's
That's
too far gone.
amazing.
I'm like, oh shit. So I reload, and it puts me 10 minutes back. I'm like,
Yeah.
so
Well,
I'm like,
it's
oh
been
my god,
good.
I'm not playing this game anymore. Yeah, there you go.
That's awesome.
That's my Zelda.
That's your Zelda
Here,
story.
I cried literal tears of the game.
Oh, man.
Literally, I was just like, oh no. Especially when it warped me back like 10 minutes.
Right,
I'm like,
right.
oh no, I gotta go through the snow again. Ugh.
Yeah.
It's painful. Like I don't like painful games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's fair.
that's fair.
It's got the cookie mechanic in it too, which I did not love.
What's that?
It also has the weapon breaking mechanic. You basically have to cook meals to like get health and powers
Cooking.
and stuff.
I heard
Uh,
cookie.
Cook. Yeah, you have to
I
cook
thought he
stuff.
said cookie too.
Yeah, cookie.
Cookie mechanic.
Cookie
I was
Like
like,
the
I
Cookie
Yeah,
Monster.
you got to make all these
cookies.
cookies.
Chocolate
No, you have to make
chip,
recipes, right? You have to experiment with the food. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, that's kind of cool, but I liked it. I'm done with it. I'm like, moving on to
Yeah.
the next level. I don't know.
Right.
Like, I want to play something else.
Right.
And the weapons breaking is really annoying. But I've had 2 shields in the game. They broke instantaneously.
Oh my gosh.
Not gotten a shield since. Never seen it. Like, what am I
Mm.
missing?
The fun.
Really bad luck.
It also gives you a tip. It says instead of throwing yourself over and over at an enemy, which obviously I had been doing, like as I was in a shrine, which is like where you level up and you learn. All this
Yeah.
stuff. They put you in a fight, a little mini boss battle. It's not a boss, but it's like for me it was a boss because you have 3 hearts and like you can't do anything, and your shield breaks and it says instead of throwing yourself at the boss, why don't you cook a meal to give yourself extra power? And I'm like, no, I want to just get through it, please.
Yeah.
So I just threw myself over and over against this boss. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm done ranting about Tears of the Kingdom.
It's. I mean, it is really difficult to find a game that just
I'm grouchy gamer tonight.
snags you, right? I mean, it is.
Damn you,
Yeah.
Scott.
It is
Grouchy
super
gamer.
difficult to like find something that like
I
grabs a hold
I
of
think
you.
I'm just my attention span now is just so short that I just can't tolerate it.
You know what I've discovered in a game like Tyranny or however that's annoying to me is that that you have a situation in those where like, oh, you find a chest and you unlock it and you like, I'm so pre-programmed for like random loot drops from things that it like annoys me where it's like, oh, and make sure you get over here to get that box over there because that's where you're gonna get your ring of quickness or something. Like it's just like stuff like that instead of like playing a game like Diablo or Torchlight or something like that where the stuff drops and it's like a randomly generated piece of equipment. And maybe it gives you, 0.1% more, whatever, to
Yeah.
your, and like for whatever reason, that just kind of grabs me. I am really annoyed
All
with
right.
myself that I've never beaten Subnautica, however. I feel like I never gave, I played that game a lot, and I've heard of people tell me that Subnautica is just one of the greatest games ever, and I feel annoyed that I've never given it the time that it needs to beat it, which if you don't know anything about Subnautica, it's a weird, how do you survive, your spaceship crashing on a planet and you're in the ocean. It's like an ocean planet, and it's just like, and so you like have to create your ocean base and dive around, collect different things, and super cool. It's first person. It's a game I wish I'd done. Anyway,
All right.
initials are CB, Charlie Bravo. Charlie Bravo.
Is that Charlie Bravo?
Bravo.
Yeah. So, or Krabby.
Don't give away answers.
Oh yeah, probably. All right, here we go. Connected to Dick Cheney. Connected to FBI special agent Melvin Purvis.
Evan.
Evan.
Cory Booker.
Ah.
I don't know.
Connected to race car driver Ken Miles.
What is this guy's name?
Connected to magician Alfred Borden.
I never heard of
Barry.
that.
Barry.
Christian Bale. I couldn't remember his name.
Christian Bale is
I knew it on the
correct.
second question. I couldn't
okay,
remember his
okay.
name.
Connected to serial killer Patrick Bateman.
Ah.
Connected
that
to Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Better made.
Can't find Bruce Wayne man. Okay, here we go. One appeared in Disney's Robin Hood in 1973. Appeared in 1986's Labyrinth.
Barry.
Go ahead.
Crossbow.
I think that's one word too. But anyway. Appeared in 1939's The Wizard of Oz.
Aldi.
Aldi.
Crystal Ball.
Crystal Ball is
Ah.
correct. Well done.
Nice one.
Used in the Harry Potter
Dance
franchise.
magic dance.
Often used as a prop for magicians.
That's an underrated song.
Look, babe. Babe.
Here you go.
Okay.
Popularized in the 1930s. Some are worth millions of dollars. Appeared in the 2000 film Unbreakable.
Aldi.
Aldi.
Comic book.
Comic book is
Oh,
correct. Well
man.
done.
Aldi. Killing it.
Fire.
An iconic creator of these appeared in 1995's Mallrats.
Stanley Lee.
Was a junior copywriter at an ad agency. Lived in New York City. Was roommates with a soap opera actor. Connected to Baywatch and foosball.
Evan.
Evan.
Christy Brinkley.
Good guess.
Frequently dated Janice.
What's this guy's name?
Final clue. Was played by Matthew Perry on NBC's Friends.
What the hell?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Aldi.
5, 4,
What's his name?
I can't remember the
Oh,
guy.
Aldi.
One. Oh,
Chandler
yeah.
Bing.
Chandler
Bing.
Bing. There you
Bing.
go.
There you go. Man,
Man, last second there.
there you go. Chandler. I
All
wouldn't have
right, here we
got
go.
Bing.
I've not
Connected
really
to
watched that much Friends.
Connected to Sirius by the Alan Parsons Project.
Huh?
Debuted in 1966. Its name is inspired by the meatpacking industry.
Oh, no.
Connected to The Last Dance. Known for Black and Red. Final clue. Famously connected to Michael Jordan.
Aldi.
Aldi.
Chicago Bulls.
Oh,
Bulls.
Chicago
jeez.
Bulls.
What do you got? 4 now, Aldi?
Do I?
Jeez.
He's running away with it.
Go away.
Stop me.
Okay. Go ahead, Evan. It's all you.
Appeared in
very rough day.
2000. Appeared in 2014's Draft Day.
Draft Day.
Right. Don't remember the name.
Good movie. Appeared in
Okay.
2014's Get On Up. Died in 2020. Connected to Jackie Robinson. Connected to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, I know his name, but I can't think of it.
Final clue. His iconic character is from Wakanda. Five.
Aldi.
Aldi. 5, 4,
Can't think of his name.
3, 2,
Shit. Oh,
1.
You guys should know it. Come on.
I do. I can't.
5,
Oh,
4,
It's Black Panther.
3,
Yeah.
2,
His name.
1.
what? Shit.
It's all yours, Lance.
Chadwick
Chadwick
Boseman.
Boseman.
Oh,
yeah.
Chadwick
yeah.
Boseman.
That's right.
Number 1. Reportedly checked into hotels under the pseudonym Homer Simpson.
I think I know this one.
Uh,
I've heard this
Connected
one.
to Saturday Night Live and Kenan Thompson. Has a comedic connection to Barney the dinosaur. Has a famous comment about role models. Appeared in 1996's Space Jam.
Evan.
Evan,
Charles Barkley.
yeah.
that is correct.
Nice.
Well done. You're on the board.
Yeah, on the
What's his
board.
He's
role
on the
models,
board,
man?
people. He's on the board.
He said, "Don't expect them." Pretty much. Yeah. Or basketball players. Leave alone. Yeah.
One of these appeared in 1984's Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Damn.
One of these appeared in 2010's Toy Story 3. One of these appeared in 1971's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. often includes rubber or metal. Often features sand, grain, coal, packages, and more. Final clue. A continuous moving band
Goldie.
used, go ahead.
Conveyor belt.
Conveyor belt is correct.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask a question.
Okay.
This has only happened to me once in my life. How many of you, after checking a bag to get in to fly, your bag was the first one off the first one? It's like on the conveyor belt. Isn't that a great feeling?
Awesome. You're like, well,
It's like
see you
it's
guys.
like it's just
See you guys
like
later.
it's like the
And
abs.
then you're
it
standing
is-
right there too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I hate you people.
it is like winning a lottery, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's happened to me once, because there is nothing worse than like, it's like, okay,
You know what's the worst?
what?
Standing at the wrong conveyor belt
Oh yeah.
and then waiting for like another 10 minutes after it's over, and then be
right.
like,
You're like,
there's the bag over there that's been going around for the past half hour, and you're
Yeah.
like, that's my bag over there. No.
So
The
when
walk of shame over to your bag at the wrong conveyor belt.
two very quick stories. Whenever I travel to Dallas for BGG Con, the way the Dallas airport works is like, oh, baggage claim is over here. And it's like, and you walk all the way, you walk through this thing, you get there, and you get to the doors to go to the baggage claim. And there's like a door that goes into a room where a security guard is.
Yes.
And then there's another door, and there's all these signs that say, once you go through, you
not going
can't
back.
come back. You can't come back. And I've always have this level of anxiety, like,
Yeah, you're like,
do I
should
have
I really
everything?
go through that door?
Yeah, should I leave? I mean, do I have everything? Am I as I go? You know, just like I just
Yeah,
like
like because if you forgot something on the plane, you're SOL.
yeah.
You're mostly SOL anyway, but
I've done that. I've flown like a cell phone charger, and I've said, hey, my cell phone charger, and they're like, they literally won't let you go back on the plane to get it. They'll say, tell us what seat you're in, we'll go back and look for it. And like, and the one time I did it, they did find my shit and they brought it back to me. But I mean, it was just kind of like one of those things where it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's I always have that moment of terror, you know, like when I at the Dallas
Yeah.
Um,
it is a point of no return.
no, it's crazy. And like I said, there's 1,000 signs that say you're not gonna,
Because you're not getting through
back.
it. What are you gonna do? They're not
Right.
gonna let you back in without a ticket.
Yeah, and so it's just
Yeah.
kind of like, yeah, and you're just at the whim or whatever. When my wife and I flew to San Francisco, we got there, and somehow our luggage got there before us. And then they were like, and so when we got off the plane, somebody actually said to us, like, they were like, there was somebody there holding a sign. They were like, yeah, your luggage is actually already here. It got on an earlier flight and it got to San Francisco before you. Well, we had like a 2-hour layover somewhere. So I was just like, how long has our luggage been sitting there? And then we walked over to where, and you know, people aren't jerks and they aren't a-holes. So I mean, this is why. But I walked over and there was like, often like here's the main area where all the terminals are and everything like this. This is where all the people on God's green earth are milling about collecting their luggage. And I was like, and I walked over to the help desk and I said, hey, I flew Delta. They said my luggage is already here. I just got in, my wife and I. And they're like, oh yeah, if it's already here, you got to go over there. And I was thinking, okay, I'm going to go over to some office and I'm going to show them my ticket. I'm going to say, hey, get my bag for me. Thank you very much. No, go around the corner, another corner, half a light, and there's like 30 suitcases just strewn about in this
Doesn't
area.
it seem like baggage claim is sort of like the last bastion of like
trust.
trust,
Yeah.
which I think at some and at any moment is going to be completely broken.
Right.
Because we're on the cusp of that. Honestly.
Yeah.
and the thing is that there's probably a camera on me right now as I'm walking over to get my baggage,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
There's probably a camera on me. But again, this is where people are picking people up. There's nothing stopping anybody from like, all right, okay, so pull up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run in there. I'm just gonna grab 2 bags.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna
Well,
throw them in the back of the truck and we're gonna
It
drive
seems
away.
very. That's what I'm saying. It's like it seems like an
Yeah.
easy target.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying that people should do
The
that.
vector is. I mean, of course not. But
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's
the
it's
fact.
something.
I mean, the bags can go missing very easily. Like, don't.
I bet the frequency you get anything of value is so low that like it's been
Yeah.
done and then stopped.
But
know,
people are
the
porch pirating
luggage
all the
is worth
time now.
money.
I mean, porch pirate's a thing now. Like,
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's porch pirate's like an epidemic.
Yeah, but you don't fly with your PS5 or you know what I mean. But I don't know.
All you do is hit once.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it just seems weird that it was just like
It is weird.
It's
Yeah.
over there somewhere. You know, not there's nobody standing around. There's nobody protecting it. It's just, and the thing is that somebody does that. What an exceedingly horrible inconvenience to the person that has their shit stolen. I mean, even if there was nothing, it's like, oh yeah, I lost some shaving cream and my shampoo and
I got to spend a day.
And oh yes, all of the clothes I was gonna wear for the next 6 days.
Right.
Just like what an incredible pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it's one of those things where I'll say this though. I've discovered the person that I probably despise more than anybody is those people that run up to the front when their luggage is coming off, and the person that grabs the bag and then they half walk away and then they realize it isn't their bag, and then they like sheepishly kind of wander back over, and like some of them don't even put it back on the conveyor belt. They just kind of leave it by the conveyor belt and they go to another spot to wait for their bag to go. And I saw this one lady do it. Where oh hey, our family plays games.
So I know that.
Thanks, Mick in the chat.
Yeah, hey man.
You should get Mick on here. You should get Mick on here
Heck
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
sometime.
yeah, anytime they want to be on, they're welcome. But this is an
I
open
mean, or
forum for whoever.
Starla or Grant.
Yeah, any of them. They're more than welcome anytime.
Does Grant stamp this?
Yeah, Gray would be.
I know
on
Grant's a
this.
student.
mean,
You better not-
yeah.
Influence him.
Remember,
was a kid,
remember when
man.
Grant Lyon used to hang out with us? Now he's too cool. For
Oh,
school.
yeah.
I remember
I remember
that.
that.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Well, he
Um,
also is probably working.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? No
Yeah,
excuses.
he is back to us. Yeah.
No excuses. He's got a phone with a camera on it.
And he met somebody, I believe.
I think that's true.
Yeah, I know. I met her. She's a delightful
Yeah.
woman.
She's great.
No, what was I saying about the travel and something else? I lost track. I can't.
People take the bag, they put it back, but not on the thing.
Oh no. So I saw this lady, she walked up and like she grabbed this bag, right? And like, it was just like, whatever. It was just and then she started walking away, realized that it wasn't there. And they look at this, everybody's like, oh, we miss Grant and Rado and Pete and Keith and Anthony.
Chased them all away.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're just the
Just the
shop.
schlubs.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
schlubs.
Schlubs
What
who
am I,
show up
chopped
every week
liver?
for the past 5 years.
Yeah, no.
How many years has it been?
I don't know, forever.
A lot.
A lot. Yeah.
No, but I'll say this. Anthony says he can probably make it next week. I was talking to him on the phone. So
Oh,
he
nice.
It might just be him though. Me and Barry are gonna be gone.
where are you
Yeah.
guys gonna be?
You and I guess Evan.
BGG.
Oh, BG Spring.
I'll be
Yeah.
around.
All right. Well then there you go. But no, so
You got Evan and Matt.
I'll be around.
You'll be around.
here's the
He'll
thing
stick
about that.
around.
So this lady, she grabs this thing, right? And then she starts walking away, realizes this isn't hers, brings it back, and to her credit, puts it back on the conveyor belt. So it's going, right? So like, and she grabbed like this giant thing, this huge freaking thing, right? And then she put it back, right? And I was like, oh, okay, well, good on her. She put it back on the thing. And then like And of course, somebody who doesn't, you think, okay, well, karma says there should be the last one, right? And there's nothing worse than waiting and like 5 minutes goes by, you don't see your bag, and 10 minutes goes by, you don't see your bag, and you're just like, and they're still putting stuff on, and you're like, oh God, please let my stuff be here. You're just like, oh, it's like you're willing to pull a Faustian deal just to make sure that your luggage got home. And you're sitting there and you're like, and I've been there sometimes when all of a sudden like the conveyor belt just stops, junk.
Yeah.
And
You're like,
you're stuck.
yes, my bag's not coming. Oh yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, that's a horrible feeling.
And then you gotta go talk to somebody.
Oh, who doesn't want
Worst.
to talk to you at
It's
all?
the worst. It's the worst.
And nobody and they're like, and they're never apologetic either, because like you got in at midnight, and the last thing they want to do is try to track down your crap. They just want to go home, and they're just like, what? Just like, I don't have my stuff. Well, it's not my fault. I'm just but then this lady, she came back and put this rhinoceros of a bag back up on top of the thing. And then and your karma, like I said, should have said that her bag should be last. But no, like less than 45 seconds, she grabs her bag. And it was like, I mean, no lie, it was about the size of like a tissue box. It was like this tiny little thing. Like there was absolutely I was like, how is it possible that you grabbed like this 60-pound trunk off of the conveyor belt and like thought that was yours, and then you come back and then you grab this like tiny little my Fisher Price my first suitcase size thing and decide, oh yeah, this is mine. Anyway,
I once saw my bag get picked up by a guy who he basically walked up and took off like in a heartbeat, and I chased after him and then I was like, I believe that's my bag, and he's like, yep, I think you're right.
I've had that happen.
That was a weird, mysterious one.
I guess so.
Because it was like a zip, like he was out.
Yeah.
I was like, is that a heist, or was that?
Sounds like.
But he went back and picked up a different bag. I mean, maybe it was his bag, or
I haven't had that. No. I had that something similar happen, but we had very, very similar bags. Right. Like the name tag was the only difference, basically.
Well, I had a weird ass situation where you know how when you when they say, oh, we ran out of, you I hate bringing a carry-on, because I always just have a backpack, because you always run into that. The only times I've ever really gotten screwed by an airline is when they're like, oh no, you can't take that on, we're gonna have to check that, and then you get off the plane, you got to stand there and wait for them to bring you the thing, so you can leave with it, because they just not check bag. It's like it's your walk-on thing.
It's gate checked, right?
Yeah. So we were sitting there.
We got to finish our game. We
will. But so
it's almost 1 a.m.
No, it was my buddies who went to Gen Con with me last year. One of them, like a guy grabbed not his bag, took it all the way with him to his airplane, got on the airplane with not his bag. And they were in the process of possibly taxiing away when they realized they were somehow, and I was like, my buddy was like, I don't have my bag. And I'm like, because we were going to Uber, and we were sitting around and waiting for him to be done. And no, that was BGCon last year, actually it was. And they somehow got the bag off that plane. But can you imagine how livid I would be with and I guess my friend went to the thing. And first of all, if it had been me, I would have been like, bring that guy out here and have him fucking apologize to me, because this is fucking bullshit. You don't just take my bag and wander off. And the only reason they figured out it was him because that bag was sitting there. There was a bag sitting there that looked a lot like my buddy's bag.
That just sat
and then
there.
he's just
so they had to go track down the. Okay.
But I guess the guy was kind of a prick to him. Like my buddy, he was like, yeah. So he showed up and he was just like, yeah, this is his bag, and I guess he came off and the guy didn't even say, well, I'm sorry, hey, well, that's really funny and everything like that, and he was just just came, yeah, you got my bag. I was like, yeah, you got mine, yeah. Just kind of handed it his and then scuttled off. I was just like, I'd be like, yeah, a smile and a thank you would be nice, since I hand delivered this mother effing thing halfway across the airport for you, you piece of crap. Anyway,
All from a conveyor belt clue.
yeah.
Half
Yeah.
hour.
Yep, that's how it works.
You know, Lance.
Yeah. I had my boss Josh. I poked fun at somebody in our company for like somebody who just keeps talking and talking, and he was just sitting
You
there.
did?
No, yeah, and I said
You were poking.
because
Holy
somebody
shit.
said, oh, we got our meeting actually got done in an hour. That's crazy. And I was like, well, yeah, it's because I said this person wasn't here, and like he has a, why would he tell a story in 10 words when he could use 40? And like there was this like pin drop, and
What-
then
what-
like
Was that
and
your
then-
brother?
and
Twin brother?
and I forget how Josh put it. He said something like, "Are you familiar with the term?" And I forget what term he used. And I was just like, "Oh, I see what you're saying." So
Hot calling black the kettle.
yes,
Kettle.
something like- yeah. Anyway, here we go. Clue number 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
My reminder: the initials are C.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we're playing a
Reminding.
game.
Yep.
Here we go. Appeared in ABC's Dancing with the Stars.
Okay.
Went viral in 2020. Famously connected to animals. A rival was convicted of attempting to hire a hitman to kill her.
Oh. What was this psycho's name?
Connected to theories about her husband's disappearance. She was the CEO of Big Cat Rescue and gained notoriety after the Netflix series
The
Tiger King.
Yeah. Oh,
5.
I don't know
Aldi.
the last name.
Carol.
4.
I don't know.
1.
Carol.
Oh,
Baskin.
that's it.
Too
I'm
late.
sorry, your time is up.
Someone
Evan,
else
you want
take
to
it.
ring in?
Barry.
Barry.
Carol Baskin.
Wrong. It
Oh,
was Baskin.
Baskin.
Mr. Dumbass. It's Dumas.
Dumas.
Count the money. The Monet. The Monet. That history of the world thing, not good. By the way.
Yeah, I started.
Oh, the
There's
second.
There's
the
some
second one.
There's some good stuff though.
It was obscured by a lot of not so good.
I think there's plenty of good in there.
Anyway, it was nice to see more stuff from him. All the same.
Yeah.
A national treasure, Mr. Brooks. Anyway, appeared in the House of Blue Leaves in 2003's Kill Bill Volume 1.
So Blue Leaves.
Connected to walking on Arrested Development. The title of a 2011 Coldplay song. Has appeared countless times in newspapers.
Aldi. Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
Man,
He's a clown.
Yeah.
That's Charlie Brown.
That's
sweeping.
the Kill Bill threw me off because
Yeah, me too.
there's it's the Charlie Brown is the guy who runs the restaurant.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I need to watch those movies again. I've only seen them a couple times.
That's great.
Appeared in 1993's Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Tight.
Tight.
These, speaking of Mel Brooks, these can be worn. Historically intended for women. These are used to minimize or eliminate temptation.
Barry.
Aldi.
Barry.
Chastity belt.
Ding ding. Well done.
Slowly getting it.
I'm
There
on a very slow
are-
day today. Okay.
It's
My
like-
hands don't. wanna
There are
work.
3 left.
Nothing.
So,
So it's
Barry-
anybody's game.
Yeah, it's
no,
anybody game.
More importantly,
except
it
for
is-
Aldi.
Yeah, Aldi. Barry needs all 3
That ain't happening.
to tie.
That ain't
Yeah.
happening because
There
I
we
can
go.
only think of 2.
Clue number 1. Seen in 1993's Tombstone. Seen in 2007's 310 to Yuma. Seen in 2010's True Grit.
Barry.
Barry.
Cowbell.
Eh. Congratulations.
I'm glad you
Aldi,
got
won.
it, because I was going to say it.
All right.
Uh,
Next clue. Seen in 1990's Back to the Future, Part 3.
I'm still on cowbell.
Often connected to line dancing.
Aldi.
Aldi.
Cowboy boot.
Cowboy boots.
Yeah.
Yes.
Boots.
I was like, Cowboys, what word? That doesn't make any sense.
Cowbell was definitely a good guess, though.
Yeah.
One of these famously appeared in 1985's The Goonies. One of these was once called a childhood symbol of love by Don Draper on AMC's Mad Men. Connected to a pool in a 1980 classic.
Aldi.
Aldi.
Wait. Never mind.
5,
Never mind.
4, 3, 2,
Christy Brinkley.
1.
Stole my answer.
Did make sense.
Once famously included tickets.
Barry.
Barry.
Chocolate bar.
Oh.
I've got the golden
Commonly
ticket.
connected to an autumn holiday. Final clue. Snickers, Twix, and Butterfinger.
Evan,
Evan.
candy bar.
Candy
Candy
bar.
bar is
I just need to get you 2 out of the way.
Yeah, that's all. Process of elimination.
All right, here we go. Final one. Connected to Instagram and Vine. Connected to Maroon 5's Girls Like You. Raised in the Bronx. Connected to 2018's Invasion of Privacy. Gained fame on Love and Hip Hop New York. Final clue. Known for Bodak Yellow, I Like It, and WAP.
I don't know her name.
5.
Oh, Aldi.
Go ahead.
Cardi B.
Cardi
Yeah.
B. And that's one of those where you could have given me 100 clues.
The WAP got me there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I mean, I just don't listen to. I just don't listen to any new music anymore.
Yeah.
'Cause
I haven't
I'm
listened to new
old-
music since like 2000.
because I'm old and cranky, and I know what
Yeah.
I like. So
We've got both kinds of music here.
country and
And
western.
Western.
Hey,
Yeah.
I got my light, by the way. I just haven't set it up yet.
What's the light?
What's that
The
for?
light you have, buddy.
Oh, you got the light. You bought the light.
Yeah, I bought the light.
Water light. Yeah.
There you go.
Nice.
Ooh, Papado.
I haven't installed it or put it together or nothing. But looks cool. And judging from what's going on behind you, it is cool. So
So that's 8 for Aldi. 3.
yeah, Aldi crushed it
Very-
again.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
it turns on, sometimes it turns off.
2 for me. So
Depends on the letters.
relatively speaking, I do
so
better than
it-
normal.
So it's a USB, but it doesn't give you a USB plug-in with it. Kind of garbage.
No,
is this.
mine might give, it comes with a USB plug.
No, it came with the plug, but it doesn't have the actual thing that I plug in the wall.
A lot of stuff doesn't come with the.
It goes.
the
It's a
cube.
USB. It's a USB power.
Yeah. A
You
lot
plug
of
it
them
into a
don't come with the
USB.
cube. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, why wouldn't you give me a plug-in so I could put this in? Like,
So you buy more cubes. Nothing
I
wrong
mean, I plug it in my computer. I mean, I guess
Oh.
I have like a USB hub. I have a USB hub that's this like, it's got.
with that.
I
All-
can't.
all
I can't
your
show it to you.
gadgets.
Unfortunately, I don't want to lift it up because there's like it's like.
It's Medusa.
I mean, it's almost like a fake thing. I mean, it has like 15 ports.
I have one that has like 6, but they're all being used right now.
Right.
I can't
Really?
be all fancy like you with like.
You got to get
7,000
yourself more ports.
I mean,
man.
just get a. Didn't you get a? You probably got a USB charger somewhere.
Hold on, I'll just unplug one of my.
You could
things.
just plug it in. Yeah, unplug. Don't unplug your mic though,
Yeah.
or your camera,
Thanks, Dad.
or your mouse, or your keyboard, or your. What else you got? There's something there that you probably don't need.
Does this thing come with a battery? Or do I need to put one in?
I think it's got a tab that you pull out to
Yeah,
like.
got a battery.
I think it's got a like a little plastic tab you just pull out.
It's not working. This sucks.
Son of a. Only you,
Do
Lance.
you have a 5-volt USB port hub?
Goddamn garbage piece of crap you convinced me to buy.
You're
Hey,
gonna,
you
love
Aldi.
it. You're gonna love it. Look at that. I mean I could stare at this for like hours. I can't play Zelda for 5 minutes, but I can stare at this stupid thing.
There you go.
To get the blue going again.
What kind of pile did you convince me to buy?
It's $20. What do you want? What do you want?
$20 is
For it
$20.
to turn on. That's what I want.
It has a switch on the back. You probably
you're
don't have
hitting
it
the
set-
power
you have it
button.
on- you have it set on music or something.
Shut your mouth. Hold on, I can't read. I don't have enough light right now. Oh, off auto music. What's music?
I mean, I assume if you play music, it like
Oh yeah, there it
makes
goes.
it wiggle.
See,
Yeah, I
he gets
do.
all riled up
There you
because he doesn't
go.
read
Put it on your face.
instructions on his own thing and doesn't know how to use it.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I knew what I was doing.
You need a-
Uh-huh. I'd hate to be your wife, having to listen to this every time you get a new
I-
project. And
Oh, I'd hate to be your face. How does that feel?
Not good.
it doesn't make
Not
sense.
good.
Yeah, yeah.
Feels bad.
You can change the speed too if you don't like it. I like it slow.
Oh yeah, go on.
That's what she said.
I like it slow.
Keep talking.
Long walks on the beach.
I got it because I thought it would be a cool thing to like the green or whatever, which I'm messing with right now. I thought
Yeah.
that would be cool to have like here. I can't really see. Okay, there.
Yeah, there you go. You got to put it
Like-
behind you to see it.
So if I had that on my ceiling when we were
Yeah.
playing like Call of Cthulhu, I thought that would add like
Yeah, no, it's a neat little gadget.
Well, I was gonna curse your name for convincing me to buy something that didn't fucking work, but
It's the best $20 I've spent in a while.
Yeah?
It's gonna be a lot of joy. I just like look at it. I mean, it's like mesmerizing.
That's all.
It feels like I'm in Florida.
Do you stare at water a lot, Scott?
I like the reflection of water.
Do you?
It's
Like-
really cool.
Like I love it. Like especially when it's like dark at night and there's like light going like the side of concrete, like water.
Yeah.
Like it's like a pool light, like a light in a pool.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Something
I can
about
see
it.
that.
It's
really cool.
mesmerizing and relaxing.
I was just thinking about that earlier today. I was like, I missed the reflection like on a boat fishing, like bass fishing.
Yeah.
I was just
Wonder
thinking,
wonder what is about water.
what are the bottom 3 buttons
It's amazing.
for?
I don't know. I don't like water
don't
in
know.
general. You know, I don't swim. Yeah.
I think it's speed or no. I don't know.
Oh, don't
don't
hit
like
the
the
flash
ocean.
button. That's annoying.
Flash.
My when I brought my daughter to a reservoir, a park around a reservoir, and
Yeah.
she like was looking. This is like a year and a half ago. She looked at the water and she started crying. And I was like, are you okay? She was like, yeah. It was just like it struck her as so beautiful that she just started crying.
Yeah.
The what?
The reservoir, just
Oh,
the water.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Something
That was the
Yeah.
biggest body of water she had
I
seen.
do
at
not
that
own a
point.
pool. I did when I was growing up though.
Jen's
We had a
kind of
we had a half pool in Florida. It was like 2 feet below ground and 2 feet above ground. It was like, I guess
Huh.
I don't know what the cost was, but I'm like,
Yeah,
if you're gonna bulldoze out a
just
Cool.
go ahead and do the full.
go
thing.
for the whole thing. Like how much
Yeah.
extra would it be? Like the team was already there to pull half the land out. Why
Yeah.
not just do the whole thing?
Well, we
I
can
mean,
get you
the
a
cost
half
must have
full
been
for
the cost must have
5,200.
been like an order of magnitude more because
Yeah,
they must have hit something.
I had no concept of what things cost obviously as a kid. So
right.
if you can afford like a couple $1,000s for a half in and a half below, how much would a full pool cost? I guess is
Right.
what was my question.
Right.
I wonder what it would cost. It was the 80s.
Well, back then it probably would have not.
Couple
been
grand.
I'm
bad.
sure
How
it's
much would a full
expensive
pool?
then.
What would a full pool cost? What does a full in-ground pool cost now?
My
Now?
guess is
Oh,
somewhere
like a
in the
basic.
20s.
A basic 20 grand.
Basic, yeah.
That's my guess.
That's expensive.
15, 20. I don't know.
You think
Yeah.
so? I don't know. I have no
Yeah.
concept.
There do I. I know
Let me,
how much.
just ask- let me ask Google.
Oh,
I
your
know a
Google
cheap
food's
above
so
ground
good.
pool's about $1,000. Because Jen's trying to
Yeah,
talk me into one.
it's probably an order of magnitude, honestly.
Yeah.
But I mean, I swam in it almost every day.
Depending on the size and style of pool you want, you
That's
spend
what I
an
blame my
average-
skin cancer on, being in the pool every day.
You'll spend an average of 30 to 60 grand.
30 to 60.
That's what that
On-
says.
On what? On a pool?
Mhm.
Yeah.
To install it or just to maintain it every year?
I
Well,
think
just
Just to
install,
make
put
it,
in,
like
yeah.
create.
Yeah. Just to build it.
Above ground pool is 1,700 to 6,000.
concrete pools are by far the most expensive, anywhere from 50 to over 100 grand.
Yeah, they could get up there. Jenny used to watch this show where they used to
And
come in
does
and
that
do-
add to the price of a house if you sell it? Like, would people buy like put two houses side by
Probably.
side and one has a pool, one doesn't? Would it add $50,000 more or $100,000 more?
It's a factor for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I had a buddy who had a pool in his backyard, and there was like, and then his dad just griped about what a giant pain in the ass. it
Yeah.
was.
My neighbor across the
Yeah.
street does. Yeah.
Kabuki Kid says 60,000, 70,000.
Yeah.
But man, I love going to his house on a hot summer day. It's one of those
My
things
neighbors
where,
would jump in my pool.
But then,
Yeah. It's one of those things though. It's like when you have it, you just don't use it.
Yeah,
Right?
it's one of the for sure.
It's like it's like everybody who gets a hot tub, like when they first get it, it's just like they use it like every night for like 2 weeks, and then
and
it's
then
like,
never again.
the thrill's going.
and then it's just like, oh, I have to go and check the water and
We-
test it and make sure.
We
it's
did a lot of
okay.
pools as a kid, though. I think
Well,
we
you're
grew
Florida.
as we grew up. We sort of grew out of it.
Yeah,
Uh,
There's a lot of costs involved.
But I mean, I went to the
Yeah.
ocean too. It was either the ocean or the pool, one or the
For-
other.
Yeah.
For example, now it's real commonplace because you can just go to Costco and get one. But when I was
Yeah.
in grade school, my stepdad, who sold buses, was at a school, and like they had a trampoline, like, just because they had, it was a school and they had a trampoline. And then it was like literally one of those things where, because kids were getting hurt on it, they had it just locked up, and, as a liability, they couldn't have kids going crazy on it. So, he just, he probably gave him a deal on the bus, to be honest with you. And then, but they put it in the back of a pickup or a moving van. They brought it, and I had a trampoline in my backyard. And it was just kind of like, I remember it was like me.
Did anybody break their ass on it?
I mean, people got hurt on it all the time. But I
Yeah,
remember I had
my
it.
neighbor.
It was
broke her
different
leg.
back then, Scott. Nobody cared.
I mean, I fell off it a couple times. I'm like,
yeah.
oh, this was not good.
We had- we had
I
a
remember, but I
trampoline.
mean, but my friends were always like, let's go jump on the trampoline. I was like, yeah, it was cool for like a week, but now I have it here anytime I want. And it's just kind of
Nobody
like,
wants. to
Collects
play.
dust. Yeah.
Did you ever do the thing where you like knock each other and keep going?
Oh,
higher?
yeah.
Like,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like
When
you
when do
mistime
the
your
double
jump so that you don't. Yeah, you like miss
yeah.
this time the jumps.
We used
Yeah.
to do this thing where we'd throw like a big red yoga ball under each other as we were bouncing. It was a bad plan. Don't do
So
it.
what I remember I
Pretty
used
bad
to do,
injury.
what I remember I used to do, I mean, it was
Now
it was the, and I think I've told the story before, so I apologize.
It
But
was
I remember it was it was up to like probably about here on me, like just standing next to it. You hike yourself up, and
Yeah.
so it was like 4 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more, maybe a little less, but maybe a little more, probably not a little less. But I remember as a kid, like 12 years old, I would sit there and I'd jump as high as I could, and I get to the side, and it was a classic Olympic one too. It was a rectangle. It wasn't a circle. It wasn't anything like that. And then I would jump and I jump and I jump, and until I got to the end, and it wasn't a rubber thing too. It was a nylon top, and I remember we had to replace like the springs and stuff on it all the time. But I remember I went, and I would get to, and I'd be and I'd be jumping whatever 6-7 feet in the air, and I would get to the side and
That's
I would
right.
jump.
You weren't jumping that high.
I mean, it
Like
felt
7
like
feet?
it.
Maybe
Yeah,
like
I mean,
4. Come on.
well, I mean, it certainly felt like I was high up in the sky. I mean, I could see over my roof when I got up as high as I went.
Wow.
So I mean, but I remember I would jump, and I wouldn't jump that high, but I jumped pretty high, and I get to the side and I jump off of it
Right.
to the grass.
Yeah.
Like literally like boing. And I'd always
would land in the
I'd always
grass.
get a little scared right before I did it.
Oh, yeah.
I'd always be like, oh, this might suck, but I would do it. I would jump and I would jump and I would, because I love the feeling of like falling the extra feet.
Yeah, and you
And
tuck
the
and
fact-
roll.
And then, well, and then you kind of just fall on the ground and stuff like that. I remember I'd sit there and I'd also like, because I'd be jumping and then I'd immediately stand up and I'd try jumping because it felt weird to
Right.
jump and not balance, like because your body got used to it.
Right.
And no, I mean, I hope you never mispronounce any word, Kabuki Kid, that somebody else thinks that I say rough. The roof, whatever. Yeah, I hope we never mispronounce everything ever. Because you're so perfect.
The rough is
Anyway,
on
all right, I
fire.
got a call, guys.
But I do remember when we finally got rid of it. Because
Good night, Scott.
I gotta go. I cannot. No, I cannot.
This
I
is
cannot.
very quick.
No.
This is very quick.
No, but
But
then
I
I
had
but
my
I-
parents had this giant backyard. I remember when I would be mowing my backyard, I'd get to that goddamn 8,000-pound thing, and I'd have to move it out of the way so I could mow underneath it. And I was just like, I hated it.
see you guys in a couple weeks.
See ya.
I'll see you next week, Scott.
Have a good convention.
Yeah, have a great convention.
We will. All right. Miss you all. I will see Barry. There you go. How about that?
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you guys can log in on your phones or something and say hi.
We'll
I
see.
don't know if that's gonna happen.
Wednesday's travel day for me. Yeah, it'll be
Wednesdays,
the
I don't
other
know. We got people coming around, so I don't know.
Oh, people.
got
okay.
peeps.
My real friends.
Like,
that went-
I
that
gotta
went-
take
that went to-
4 hours off and like go watch the Alaboom or be on the Alaboom for 4 hours.
my real friends who I saw at the gathering will be there. Oh.
I would like to see
The Spiel des Jahres committee is coming in, and I think there's some other people coming in.
All right, that's actually really
But
cool.
anyway,
So I'll give
all
you
right.
a pass.
I'll see you guys.
Bye, Scott.
No, but I remember like, and I've told this story before, but like there's up here there's and there, I don't know if there is where you live either, but there's cleanup week, which basically is like take anything to the berm and we'll take it. The city will take it and take it to the dump for you, right? And so like when we just recently had ours, and like I got rid of a broken grill, and I got rid of some broken patio furniture, and just like, stuff that you can't normally jam into your garbage can, and they'll just pick it up and take it away. But I remember, and there's people that travel around in like with trailers and stuff like that, who they look to see of people getting rid of stuff that could be worth money,
Yeah.
and they collect it and they take it, whether it's scrap metal or whatever. Like if anything with a cord, they come out and they just cut the cord off of it for the copper in the cord,
Yeah.
and just, whatever. Right. So, but I remember when we put that trampoline on the berm, because it was all busted and broken to hell. And, just like, cause it'd been sitting out in the rain and the snow for, several years. Like it almost started a fight between the people trying to claim it from the thing. Like it was like one of those things where they like a person pulled up in a pickup and they were trying to get it in the back of the pickup, but it was so big that it wouldn't fit. And so then they left, and then another group of people showed up. They showed up and were trying to get it in the back of their van or whatever it was, and it wouldn't fit, and they couldn't get it. And then there was another group of people that came with another pickup that just waited patiently to see if that person would give up so they could get it. And then they actually like left a person there while they left. And then that pickup pulled up and they were like, we're taking it. And the guy's like, we were here first. And he's like, well, you don't have a fucking car, so you ain't taking shit, And then while they were in the process of trying to get that into the back of the pickup and they were arguing with that guy, the original people came back with like a trailer to put it on, and then like people are arguing and stuff. It was insanity over a broken trampoline that now you can buy them at a Costco for, $50 at a Smile. Not that cheap, but it's
Different
interesting.
times.
Different time. It was a different time. It was a different time. And I should add that not only did my stepfather manage to get that trampoline, he also bought a very like out of tune and definitely broken old piano from the music department of that school. And that piano still sits in the family room of my parents' house.
Is it still old, broken, and out of tune?
No, my mom actually like they hired somebody who came and like fixed the keys that were broken. Nice. And they tuned it, and
that's cool.
And she made me take miserable piano lessons for like 3 years. She was like, when you're older and you know how to play piano, you'll be so happy that you can impress people.
All right, everybody, we're gonna play hot cross buns here. Here we
go. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I did it for like I went to Mrs. Weaver's house every Wednesday after school, and I sat there for an hour while she like had me like play these songs. And I mean, and I guess like I could read sheet music, and like that's cool. If you sat me in front of somebody and said, "Can you play this?" If I stared at it long enough, I probably could.
Yeah.
But man, oh man, no.
So a good use of time. That's what you're saying.
Thanks for popping by, Mick. Yeah.
Thanks,
no, I mean, I remember I was just like, I was out skis. I remember when I was just like, yeah, I don't want to do this. And I remember I told my mom I didn't want to do it. And she was like, well, you're going to go. And she made me go for another like 3-4 months until I was just like, no thanks. She finally like believed that she was just basically throwing the money away because I wasn't practicing at home at all. I wasn't doing anything, and yeah, it was garbage. Hot garbage.
Hot cross garbage.
Hot cross garbage. That was I guess it was kind of cool for a little while, but man, my love for it vanished pretty quickly. So yeah. Anyway. Well, it's just not fun without Aldi.
Right.
Plus I need to go to bed because I'm tired. But yeah. Anyway, sorry we started late today. Like I said, I had some technical difficulties with my computer, but we got it going eventually. So I don't know. Everybody have a awesome week.
Yeah.
see you next week.
I'll see you next week.
That